And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It's your boy Retro CG in the building, and I'm joined tonight by Miss Honey. What's up, Miss Honey?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. And we got DJ Fresher Highness in the building. What's up, brother?
What's going on, folks? What's going on, Miss Honey? Retro? What's going on with y'all this Sunday?
Man, it feels like it's been forever. The longest 2 weeks forever.
Definitely do.
Oh gosh, we got so much to talk about. We got so many things to talk about. God, I hope y'all ready because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It is Power Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3, Episode 309, A Last Gift. First thoughts, Miss Honey.
It was magically delicious. I mean, there were dragons and giant butterflies, and now Tariq can shoot miracles out of his own ass. And I mean, it's just another layer to it. It's so magical. It's just magic everywhere. Just things are just magically happening. It was so magical.
Magic all around us. It happens over here at the Stars Network.
Right. What do you think about it?
DJ Fresh Highness, what are your first thoughts?
Great episode. That's all that needed to be said. Great episode.
For me, it was a great episode. It was a great episode. A predictable episode. I mean, come on now. Y'all have to give me my credit. The whole Evelyn and the gas leak and everything. Y'all, come on now. Y'all
you came with that, bro.
Okay.
Definitely. You said that.
But you said that there was going to be a gas leak, or you predicted them to die? I can't remember. It was so long ago.
He predicted both.
The whole scenario. The whole scenario. The whole scenario. But I kind of agree with Miss Honey. I share a little bit of her sentiment where Tariq's character is concerned, but we're going to get into that. I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with that intro real quick, and we're going to be back to break this episode down. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. And we are back. Shout out to the chat. What's up, chat? To the best power chat on YouTube.
Okay.
Sure. Shout out to the chat. What's up, chat?
Oh, no, hold on.
Power chat on.
Sorry, I'm trying.
Y'all hit y'all like button as y'all coming on in. So let's go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. So, yes, even though we was on a 2-week break, we were fortunate enough to get our hands on the leaks. I mean, it was like that Thursday. I got ready to turn on my TV to watch Power. Like, oh shit, I forgot we ain't got Power this week. And King Retro actually was the one that sent us the leaks. And, he lives out in Vegas, so he's on a whole different time zone. So it's like 2:00 in the morning. He's texting us. He was like, "Yo, y'all gotta go watch Power right now." So I tried to sit on it. I ain't gonna lie. I tried to sit on it, but I ended up watching both episodes that night. But for continuity purposes, as well as not spoiling it for others, we will not talk about any of the events in episode 10. We will not talk about any of the events, guys, in episode 10. So let's just focus on episode 9. And, so we're not going to do what you think is going to happen in episode 10 because it's obvious we already know what's going to happen in episode 10. Yeah. But for people like Miss Honey who hasn't watched episode 10 and Really Be and some of the others, let's have respect for that and not talk about any of the events. All right. So I don't even know where to start at with this episode, man. There's just so much going on. Okay, my first question to everyone is, why do y'all think that Power is the only series, especially on Stars, that constantly, repeatedly, season after season, always have major episode leaks? What is up with that?
I didn't think it happened all the time. I know that it's happened before, but all the time, yes. I would have put on them by now if I thought that was the case.
Dude, it's been happening since Raina. It's been happening since Raina's death.
Yeah. That's
It's been
why I
going for a
kept telling
minute.
folks I didn't think it was 50 because 50 ain't got nothing to do with them right now. And look what happened. Because if that was the case, we would get leaks from Raising Canaan, and we would have got leaks from Force. Hell, we would already even got leaks from BMF. And Power was the only show we get leaks from.
I mean, who did the leaks help? Us? So it could be a hacker?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that it was Shane Johnson, Cooper Saxe, that leaked the episodes because he got killed off on the show. But to me, one, I don't think that the cast has early access to the episodes. They watch it when we watch it,
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't even know what's happening until they are like reading for a scene, who's getting ready to die in that episode or whatever the case may be. So I highly doubt it's anyone from the cast. It's going to have to be someone in the production team. It's going to have to be someone at the network, to me. And there's a couple things that come to mind. The most obvious suspect is always 50 Cent. So a lot of people feel like 50 Cent does that to kind of sabotage the ratings for the show because he has issues with the network. But I don't see that working out to his advantage, because ultimately it affects him financially if the network doesn't do good numbers on the premiere. I really don't know. I really don't even know other than, you just got maybe a person that is, kind of like being messy, maybe, over there at the network that's just releasing it.
Or like
I don't know.
They getting hacked. I just don't understand why it's always the last two. So my thing is, you would
out of the last two,
been smart and don't upload the episode to like the day before, because they uploaded already. So that's why we're able to see 9 and 10. If you would have waited and uploaded it the day before to the network or however they do it, because it's always the last two episodes. Always with Power. It's always the last two episodes.
Well, I hope they flip the script. It would be a lovely surprise if they gave us a different ending than what's in the spoiler. I think it would be great. It would be a good FU to whoever leaked it. And it would be great for us too, because we don't need to just trust the spoilers. Like, one of the things that makes the show so great is all of our suppositions about what's going to happen and who's going to show up. Like, that adds to the excitement of it. And for me, it lost a little excitement. Like, it was a great season. Number one, it was fast, but also it was a great season, right? Like, it was fantastical. But I think it lost a little something when it was leaked,
I agree with that, Miss Honey, because unfortunately, and Fresh, he tried to hold out. He tried to hold out because look how I was harassing you to watch it. I harassed him to watch it too. I'm like, somebody else has got to watch this with me. Like, I'm geeked up. But I agree with you. After watching the episode, especially the events that happened in 9 and 10, they were major events. That spoiled it for me. Even though I chose to watch it, like, it took away the excitement of us watching it and then turn around and reviewing it the next day type deal, because my energy would have been much different this week, had I not seen it in advance than what it was after I sat here and watched it and dissected it. And like, I just don't get it. I think that, the network knows that this is a very popular show. It's popular to the culture. Power is, one of those shows that, does good numbers. There's always engagement on social media about it. So, I really don't have too many theories on the whole leaks, other than just someone at the network probably just being messy and, throwing a monkey wrench at us. I'm gonna go ahead and respond to a couple comments because you guys are going ham in the chat as usual. Can't keep up.
I was waiting till you were done first before it got to the comments.
Can't keep up. I agree, Xavier. I do think that this was the best season of Ghost that we've had to date. You say that it's probably better than the last two seasons of Power. Not so much for me, but a very good season. One of their best seasons. Well, Yeah. I guess it was better than 6. Yeah, I agree with that. I guess it was better than 6. Demarcus, you are absolutely right. Yo, Effie did our boy Kane dirty, but I kind of understand. I kind of understand why she moved the way she moved. So we'll get into it. All
I
right.
agree with Ladee that I call her Ladee, y'all call her Lady. Ladee. When she says that nobody wants you to discuss the leaks, I couldn't find the spoilers. They weren't popping up on my timeline. Nobody was doing reviews. And I just respect that so much. Like I respect that it just shows that they have a solid fan base and they want to preserve the continuity. So I agree with you. It wasn't hard for me to avoid, except for like a couple of shows. They'd be like, "Y'all seen Power?" I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get off of here." But otherwise, like it wasn't hard for me to keep from watching it at all. It wasn't in my face.
What was in our face was Tariq playing in our face and thinking that he could go run up on Kane. So the episode starts off with Tariq, who has a magic key that he can just open up Davis's office where nobody else is there and just go into Saxe's office and look for evidence because he's still thinking about the voicemail that Saxe left him regarding the whereabouts of Tasha and that he had those whereabouts and that if anything happened to him, bye-bye Tasha and the St. Patrick family. So Rick's there trying to uncover evidence to find out about Tasha. When he comes across the photo that Saxe had took of the file that Davis had gotten from Monet, and then Kane shows up. So Kane's on this, yo, we got to get Effie up out of here. Effie don't got roped up. Where is Davis at? Them two end up having a run-in. And, Tariq, kind of got a little greasy at the mouth with Kane. Tariq swung on Kane.
He swung on him for an Effie comment, though, which was crazy because I could hate Effie.
Yeah, he did. Man. Why do you think that? That's a good point, Miss Honey. Why do you think he's on him for Effie comment?
It's classic, dicks on the table behavior. Everybody, they both threw them out there. Kane's is larger. We know that because he mollywopped Tariq with it. But I think it was just something about Kane having something that he had. Like, I think it was a man thing. You know what I mean? When he said your girl was thirsty, that's like you going to somebody's house and asking for food. Like your mom and them don't feed you at home. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was a line crossing, misstep. What do you call it? Habitual line. You know what I mean? He crossed the line.
Look, everybody knew that Tariq wasn't gonna come out on top with this. That's you right.
Oh, Molly walking so hard. It was so good.
All over that office like he was a stuffed animal.
And then when he raised that thing over his head, he was gonna brain Tariq. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, he was getting ready to bash brains on Tariq.
When Davis got Tariq up and kind of dusted him off, like it was at a bus stop or something, he kind of scuffed up. He was like, "Clean yourself up, dude. You almost got murdered just now."
Right, my external monitor. He almost got his brain smashed in with an external monitor. He
almost got a brain in.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was my number one. I have several favorites. This is one of them.
Fresh, what'd you think?
Hilarious. I don't know why he did it in the first place. Like I said, I guess it was the anger. Like you not from the streets, bro. So Kane grew up in them joints. So that was he lucky Davis came in, because if Davis ain't come in, that would have been a wrap for him. Because remember, he ain't like Tariq since day one.
Yeah, he was finna go ahead and finish him on off.
Yeah, he was ready.
Speaking of Davis with his drunk ass, he come dragging on in there looking like yesterday and last week. And it's the night after Theo has unalived himself and taken Saxe along with him. If he could, I'm going to go back to Miss Honey's review. If he could have just stopped by and picked up Everett and Drew along the way, we would have been okay, Theo. We could have been all right. So Davis comes in and informs Tariq that he had spoken with NYPD and that he had gave a statement in regards to what happened. We also learned that Davis allowed Tariq to leave before the authorities got there. And he's like, "Oh, I don't think that we'll be hearing anything else after this. You know, I'm like, Davis, how are you so sure about that? Like, you don't think that this is suspicious? Like, your brother just unalived the lawyer that just illegally helped him get out of jail. And y'all all part of a RICO investigation, but yet you don't feel like the authorities are going to have any more questions. Got it. So in this scene right here, we also learn that Tariq found the file, and Davis goes and they made a point to show us him lifting up his little mat on his desk.
Well, the office is obviously open to the public. I mean, Kane is there. There's no security guard. It's Saturday morning. There's no staff. I mean,
there's no key fob to scan into the building. There's no cameras.
You don't need a secret code. It's you just walking off the street. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna go there because we gonna get to it. But yeah, it's these little things that really bug me. And over the weekend, visiting with my parents, I got a chance to watch Night Agent, which is a Netflix show, and it's pretty good actually. And I kept thinking, I wonder why Power can't be this well written. I mean, it just bugs me. These little details really irk me. They really, really irk me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I could forgive a lot of it when we were in COVID, right? Because everything kind of had to be closed off and you didn't have a lot of people. So you shot things in these silos. Yeah. But now, I don't know. It's just weird.
I wonder if they rushed, because they shot this. Did they shoot this during COVID? Because I wonder if they rushed this, like they had to rush the shooting. And that's why, like, we're missing so many little small steps that would, like you said, like, how did they get in the building before Davis? Like, is there a security guard down below? So that's what I'm wondering if that's what they had a rush shooting or something like that.
I mean, not even just that, but Davis said to Tariq, if anything happens to me, you'll never, I know where your mom is. I'm the only one that knows where your mom is. If anything happens to me, you'll never find your mom. And this was the whole reason why I gotta find Saxe. Yeah, I gotta find him. If something happens to him, when Theo took him, he was like, dude, we gotta stop your brother because he knows where my mom is. And we know he knows where his mom is because he said, Big Mama, to talk to Tamika.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like, either you think we dumb or you're just hoping we overlook it. Like, what's the reason behind that? Fresh? I mean, it's a major flaw.
It kind of irritates me when people make comments about, oh, y'all killing the show. Oh, y'all run the show down so bad. Why do y'all even watch the show? Let's just be clear. It's not that we don't enjoy watching the show. We enjoy watching the show very much so, or we wouldn't review it. And we're not trying to be petty. We're just responding to what we see. Like, we're all of us, including the chat, all of us are very intuitive. So we see the things in the writing. We see the little Easter eggs that we think are important to the story, but we have to kind of ask ourselves, come on now, y'all playing in our face. Like, we're not stupid. Especially when you make a point of, we wouldn't even have this as a point of discussion right now if Saxe had not made that comment in the voicemail that said, if anything happens to me, you'll never see your mom again. Like, so we have to respond to what we're seeing here. And it's not realistic. It's not realistic that this information would be, she's in witness protection. Exactly. It's not possible that anyone should know where they're at. You got to have some kind of special secret clearance to even know where federally held witnesses are being kept at. So that's just unreal.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I was like, how would he know? Because he ain't even. Oh, but you know what? I forgot. That's right. He was with Tariq when they reunited Yaz with him. So,
but location should have moved since then. Me and Really B was talking about that.
Right, but they let him go from his job because of what he did to Tariq.
Yeah, like
taping him and sending his, cloning his phone. Like, they let him go for that reason. That reason alone, and she's not in the same location she was in when when he went to see Tariq. She was in like a little cabin or something, right?
Yeah, she was in a cabin in the woods. But like you said, Miss Honey, it's fine. It's fine. It's the writing. It's the writing. We can't answer for that.
I do think that who was it that said it? Virgin Love said it's because the writers are millennials.
I believe that.
Yeah, but it does reek of youth and immaturity.
Here's another thing. Okay, so we talked about this in our last review. We talked about this whole file. We knew that once Davis had kept a copy of this file, that it was going to create problems for the family, and that it wasn't probably a smart idea that Davis kept it. But he did reveal his reasons for why he kept the file, because he felt like he needed some type of leverage or incentive against Monet's treacherous behavior. So we can't.
All she has to do is walk in there and look under the mat and get the key.
Right. But yeah, he has money and a gun locked in the safe, but important paperwork that can implicate you in a criminal organization, we just keep in a normal filing cabinet. That's okay. That's fine. It's fine. What's stupid is actually let Tariq leave the office with that file and think that Tariq would do a better job at concealing its and what does he decide to do? Go hide it under his bed in his college dorm that everyone can just walk into. All they need to do is take your license and jimmy the door, and you're in Tariq's room.
I was like, I said in my review, I said, I bet you if he hears a bump in the night, he gets up under the bed, just like every other 8-year-old.
I mean, God. Effie is in a holding room, and finally, Effie is like, lawyer. You got a lawyer for me? What about Dow? Do you have a lawyer for me? Can I get my phone call? So like she wasn't giving up nothing. And as Miss Honey like to refer to them as the Rico sisters. Well, you kill me with that. The Rico sisters. That's exactly who they are. The Rico sisters.
They are. They're going to be in love after this. I mean, I could just tell.
Right. Look. They wouldn't get no smoke from Effie. Effie like, listen, this ain't what you here for, so go about your business. Go away from me with this mess. I ain't telling y'all shit.
Yo, Effie held it down. Her and Diana both, but man, this season, Effie has given us so many a range of emotions. Like, I ride with Effie. I'm glad. I hope she comes back for season 4. She would be one of the main reasons I come back. Her and Kane both, I think they did their thing this season.
Fresh, what do you think?
As far as the twins that you got up here,
they just loiter around the witness room, right?
Just loiter around the witness room. I mean, I definitely hope Effie character does come back. We gotta have her at least for one more season. Like, I can't see them just getting rid of Effie, like, you know what I'm saying? Like something just like that. And especially now that they got the quote unquote love interest with her and Kane, I can't see them removing Effie out of this situation. But at least we know, from this, she's hollered lawyer. We knew she wasn't gonna fold, she wasn't gonna rat, so she held it down. I definitely say that much. She definitely held it down for sure.
They didn't give us as much conversation with them either, did they? With them and her, as they did with Diana. Like, they talked with Diana a lot more than they talked with her.
But I don't think Diana. I think it was because of the simple fact. I think Diana didn't go ahead and say, "I want my lawyer" from the beginning.
Up front.
I think she just went on ahead and started talking when they were asking her questions. Versus where Effie was like, "Nope, lawyer," from off Jump Street. I think that's the difference.
Effie did hold it down. She held it down. So the Rico sisters, they get a text from Medina. Of course, it's to notify them that they need to come down to the morgue. And Jenny comes in and she sees Saxe laid out there. And, she has this emotional breakdown. Like, I kind of can respect what they did with this in the writing, because basically it was a real life message that they sent. Like, don't wait till it's too late to tell someone that you actually care about them. Jenny spent so much time putting on this this persona that she's so hard. She didn't have feelings for Saxe. It was just business, and she was using him, taking advantage of him. But really, we wondered about how she was going to react to finding out that he was unalive. She's partially responsible, if not wholeheartedly responsible, for his current situation because she refused to give him protection. She kept putting him in precarious information. And just like Blanca tried to tell them, it was unethical for him to be bringing back information that he was getting from his suspect, from his client that was in the interrogation room. Like, it was unethical. I mean, and she took that information and she reacted upon it immediately instead of, kind of clandestinely. It's just like as soon as she found out about the whatchamacallit, what did she do? She went and go put a camera up there. So she made situation worse for Saxe. So don't sit here and cry about him now. He's gone. He's gone because of you.
Yep.
He's not.
They tried to tell him from Jump Street. Like, Blanca tried to warn him. Though,
yeah, she did.
And even gave him the opportunity to say, all right, now I'm not going to have nothing to do with it. Because she said, once you cross that line, he's like, yeah, I know, I'm all in. And now look what happened.
That part, Xavier, I hate when people feel guilty after events they helped put in motion. Like she knew this was a possibility. Nah, it wasn't even that she knew it was a possibility. She knew that this was going to be the outcome. And then because it was a bust, which wasn't his fault, he only did what he could. He brought you information that was being fed to him. He didn't know that they were on to him and they had made him and they had orchestrated this whole scenario. He only did what he could do. And he was giving you information. Now, because you and your team came up short, it's not his fault. But what you want to do and be messy and petty and be like, oh, since my takedown was a bust, I'm not going to offer you protection. So whatever happened to you in these streets happened.
That's literally what she said.
That's exactly what she said. So
right to her, asked for protection, and now look what happened.
Look what happened. So she can be next on the list. So she's at the top of the list. Whoever is in charge of issuing disconnection notices, go ahead and send one for Jenny Sullivan. We need her up out of here.
Notices. That's a good
one. We need her up out of here. So Junior and the rest of the Rico squad, they're like the superhero squad. The Rico squad is sitting here trying to figure out what's going on, what just happened here, how is this going to affect our case or whatever. And Medina was like, listen, Jenny was like, Blanca was like, I don't know why y'all sitting up here acting like this was a hero that we just lost, like Saxe was dirty from day one. Jenny goes off on her, and Medina was like, you need to show some respect or whatever. But she was just being honest, like being
real.
Yeah, Blanca been dealing with Saxe for a long time, and she knew how he moved in these streets. So, like, yeah, I get what happened to him is bad or whatever, but he also put himself in this situation. But I was thinking to myself, you weren't saying that when you were getting that information from him when he was informing for y'all, but it is what it is. It's okay. It's fine. So Medina basically tells them, like, listen, if y'all want to try to save this case, which he should have shut it down, he should have shut everything down right then and there, because after that, he should have known that their case was crumbling, falling apart right before their eyes.
I thought he was.
Yeah, because he was like, well, y'all need to put the brakes on Effie. And really, to be quite honest with you, they probably could have flipped Effie, but, they made her too accessible to everybody. Lauren up there went to go see her. Kane went to go see her. Tariq went to go see her. Like, these are all people that you are, with the exception of Lauren, these are all people that you are. Davis went to go see her. These are all people that are being investigated in this RICO. And y'all just going to let them go. This y'all witness.
Yeah.
I
never understood why they showed her when they arrested Effie. I never understood that. Like, that to me, that was so stupid. Like, you could have held Lauren still in witness protection
at trial.
At the trial, and then she pops up. It could have been that simple. Like, I didn't understand why y'all showed her.
Because it was Jenny being messy. It was Jenny being messy, like, ha, we got you. They thought that was they trump card. Like I said, they played their trump card too soon. Like, you can cut a book right now, but you can use a 3 of spade to cut this book. You don't have to use the little joker to cut this book with. A spade is still a spade. But they played the little joker too soon. Because Kane would have not seen Lauren. Effie would have not. They could have really caught her up if they would have kept Lauren's. But Lauren had already blew that out the water anyway when she was allowed to sneak out of protection and go up to the college campus and meet with their number one suspect. It's the writing. It's the writing for me.
Yeah, it's the writing.
I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
Though.
It's the writing.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, the fact that Tate has literally trumped them. That's why I kid with them about being the Rico sisters, because do you know what goes into a Rico? It's just so silly. That's what made me think that Jenny was on her own with hope she had kidnapped Lauren. That's what I thought, because I'm like, dude, there's no one on you don't have a full-on investigation here. You don't. Tate has trumped them now twice. The things that they should be doing as a Rico that we saw in the original Power, they're just running around like, Benny Hill, bumping into each other, like it's just.
Yo, I live for this moment when Kane practically ran over Brayden. He's there hollering, Kane. Like, how about move out of the way?
It's towards you. It's the height of white privilege, where you think you can holler at this grill, this grill roaring towards you, and you're just gonna sidestep it. No, you're gonna get this door to the face. That was my happy place number 2.
That was my happy place. I enjoyed that
In
thoroughly.
the air.
Crazy thing is, I'm like, hi. I got to go to the hospital. I was like, bro, you got hit with a door. I've been hit with a door. I didn't go to the hospital. So that just showed me how fragile you are, that you got hit with a door.
It's the height of white privilege. Yep. Oh my God, I'm hurt. Kane rolls up on Brayden and like, yo, what's up? Are you informing too? Like, what's going on? Are you not? And he was like, no. Then, of course, Kane reveals to Brayden that he knows that Lauren is alive. Effie is just roped up. So Kane's out here in these streets trying to get some information because he's trying to figure out like what's going on, or whatever the case may be. Of course, Brayden is clueless, literally, and doesn't have any information for him or whatever. And Kane just leaves him off, and Brayden goes to the hospital to tend to his injuries.
Yo, and Kane rocked every scene he was in. He rocked it hard, like completely believable. He's a very consistent character, and really, he and Effie got a lot in common. We know how the ways Effie's broken. I would really, really love to hear how Kane is broken and everything around that, because Monet is so Zeke crazy. But you got Kane here, who's just really been eager to just get her to show him some type of love and respect. Like I want to know a little bit more about Kane. This season made me respect Kane so much more.
Kane killed it this season, but it's kind of like a parody to the fact that he played Bobby Brown in the New Edition movie, and him and Whitney Houston, they had that song. We got something in common. It takes me to that place with him and Effie, because they do have something in common. Like I could really see a season centered around those two characters and developing those two characters. I would really like to see more of that. But going back to what you said, Ms. Honey, I wholeheartedly agree that part of Kane's breakdown is the fact that is basically what he told. Wait a minute, I got to remember where we're at. Okay, no, I can't talk about that. It's kind of like the fact that Monet has never showed him the type of affection that she even shows Tariq, or whatever the case may be. So it's very obvious as to why the Tejeda kids are so broken, because you're right. She only cared about nobody but Zeke. But let's talk about this letter.
Hard on Zeke too. Like she basically called Zeke stupid to his face consistently, right?
Well,
but he's a dodo. But he stepped into this place where he was her heart. He was her number one.
She doesn't respect any of them, not just Kane.
No.
I agree with that, Xavier. She doesn't respect any of those kids. Like she treats them just like they're workers.
No, I think if getting rid of Zeke could have helped them in any way, she would have gotten rid of Zeke herself.
Yep.
They call her Monet. They don't even call her mommy.
Yeah,
you know what's so ironic? They call Lorenzo Poppy, but call her Monet.
That's right.
Yep. So Monet gets this letter in the mail. Diana comes in and they read the letter, and it's a letter from Saxe. And this was this is what did it for me. These mysterious letters that went all around town to everybody in New York. Everybody in New York got a letter from Saxe. And I'm thinking to myself,
he knows everyone's address, and what I love is that he took the time to handwrite these letters. That was really hard.
Yep, they're all handwritten. They're notary sealed. At this point, I
Meter,
expect a
meter,
process server
meter right
going
there.
out and serving to everybody. Like everybody in New York got one.
I just want to
Yeah.
know who sent somebody. He had to have somebody send them for him.
I wish they would have showed us
They were
that.
metered. They were metered. They were metered. Like in the office, when you put them through a machine, y'all might be too young for that, but you put
Oh,
them
I know
through a
what you're
meter
talking about.
machine, and it put the stamp on it. They were metered. He did all of this before he left the office, man. When he had that conversation with Jenny, and he was like, "What about me? What about my life?" And then he sat down and wrote 10 to 12 handwritten notes and had them taken down to the mailroom and metered, man.
I
He
guess
had
so.
everybody's address.
I guess so. He knew. That's in his letters.
It just doesn't make sense because if he would have never got unalived, they would have got those letters. So then it would have came back on him. So that's
They
why
were a contingency. They were a contingency plan. They were a protocol. They were a protocol X. Because the letter starts off that if you're reading this letter, that means I'm dead. And regardless of who killed me, I hold Tariq responsible. That was the first part of the letter. I wish they would have read Monet's letter in entirety because she read like up until the point where Saxe said that Tariq was working with the feds. She's like, I don't believe this shit. Get this shit out of my face or whatever. Diana's like, no, Ma. Then she started putting two and two together, which, she was actually wrong. I mean, they're actually wrong. Diana is wrong again. Wrong. And it kind of goes back to when she did all what she did with Zeke. You created a series of events because you think that this is the truth. You think that this is what's going on, but you have created a bigger mess. So because she felt like Tariq had set her up to get arrested, Tariq really didn't have anything to do with that. He didn't know anything about the camera being on the roof. He was trying to give her a place to go put her work up at because her father, just like Monet told her, her father had her in there selling work or whatever case may be. So because of that, she thinks that Tariq set her up, and it activated a series of events that's going to play out even in the next episode because of her assumption that Tariq was trying to set them up.
First things first, Diana and the ponytails. It's just not believable. More importantly, I don't think that originally in the writing, the letters were going to be from Saxe. It just feels like it was going to be for something else. And you know what I put out there on the TSF feed from Omari Hardwick, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. This episode to me just kind of felt like it was amalgamation of several different scenes, and they kind of built this episode by the scene. Like they had a whole cast of scenes, and they just kind of, moved them around the board to make the puzzle fit. I don't know that I believe that the letters originally were supposed to be from Saxe. It felt a little bit more James St. Patrick-ish to me.
It did, but actually, I don't have a problem with the letters being from Saxe. I don't have a problem at all from them being for Saxe. And what I really would have liked to see, I know a lot of people didn't favor this type of writing in season 6. You remember in season 6 where we got the episode like 4 different times where Ghost got unalive, and it gave the perspective of everyone who was involved with him that day. Yeah. I really wish they would have given us an episode that showed Saxe doing all this behind the scenes, leading up to him getting unalive. That would have justified everything for me. That would have made sense for me that, okay, yeah, Saxe, in that moment when Saxe left that office, instead of Theo intercepting him, or even before he showed up, actually it would have been better before he showed up to that office to meet with Jenny. They should have showed us a scene where Saxe was orchestrating all that. He had met with his attorney or whatever, or a member of his family or somebody that Saxe was working with, and said that if anything happens to me, I need you to make sure that the following people get this information or whatever. If they would have given us that, even as a flashback, even if it would have been the person if they would have showed us the person putting the letter in the mail, that would have been fulfilling for me. That would have given me everything I needed to understand who was acting as an agent on behalf of Saxe and mailing these letters, because they didn't show him interacting with anyone other than the people in the series. So it just doesn't make sense that Saxe would have had those type of resources that the day after he gets murdered, these letters are already arriving.
Unless they saving that for season 4.
Maybe.
Yeah, somebody else that's from the original Power is about to pop back up.
It was
Right.
very
Even if they would have had Riley delivering the letters, that would have given us understanding. What we need is understanding. So I don't have understanding.
I mean, it's I can't go into it too deep, but I'm just saying, for as many letters as Saxe wrote to the people that he wrote, it just feels like it was supposed to be somebody else writing those letters. Like that, it was a bit of a far reach for Saxe, in my opinion.
It was reminiscent to Ghost's lawyer coming to deliver the letters to Tariq when he was locked up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you in that mindset. So instantly we think that, you know, this is Ghost beyond the grave.
Behavior. Yeah, this is Ghost behavior. He
Yep.
was very methodical. He was an excellent planner. Ghost was always a few steps ahead. Like if this happened, yeah. He truly played chess. So it's not Saxe. Saxe is you know what I'm saying? He rummages through desks. You know what I mean? Like he looks at people's phone over their show. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not
right, DeMarcus Xavier. That's what we're just gonna go ahead and that's how we're going to explain how the letters got out. Riley sent them. Yep, we're just gonna hold on to that. That's what's gonna make us feel whole. Tariq goes to see Brayden in ICU.
I can really admit him. Look at this hotel room. Look at this leather sofa set.
He said, "I see you."
It's a private hospital. He's in ICU. Brayden's getting ready.
He was in his bedroom.
Right, he was in his bedroom. Brayden's laid up here. I'm like, okay, did they start an IV on you or something? I mean,
you got a gown on and everything, you guys. This dude did not go get a Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying? He did not go to urgent care. This dude is in the hospital. Like, they ran a catheter and everything.
Right.
And my question is, how none of his family know he was in the hospital?
Yeah, so ridiculous. When Tariq was like, if you don't get this ain't nap time, this ain't recess, boom, get up. We got capers to run.
Right, we got capers to run. Bring people, get your ass up out this bed. that's
like,
exactly how Tariq had it.
My pinky hurts.
Oh, Lord. I got a headache.
He's a cake eater, man.
Oh my God, he is a cake eater. So they have an interesting conversation, and I'm not going to dig too much into it, but I did have questions in this conversation. Well, one, Tariq is still kind of, upset about the whole Ponzi scheme and, his trust fund or whatever the case may be. And, Tariq, your money is washed. I've said that from the beginning. And, Tariq's basically telling Brayden that you need to get your ass up and go deal with your uncle. Like, you need to go find out what's going on and get this money back or whatever the case may be. And Brayden was like, I'm on sick leave right now. He was like, nah, no the fuck you ain't. Get your ass up and go deal with this work or whatever the case may be. Man, these two right here. Lauren, why are you even still in the safe house at this point, Lauren? Because everybody in New York know that you're alive, including the people that tried to kill you. Everybody know that you're alive, so just go home. Just go home.
I was still trying to figure out why she wasn't answering Tariq though.
Because she was in her feelings about what had happened with Saxe, and she's starting to feel like Tariq was possibly responsible for that because coincidentally he dies right after she spoke with him, and right after she told Tariq that Saxe was working with them, which is her fault too. If you would have kept your little fool ass mouth shut, Tariq wouldn't have known anything about Saxe. So inadvertently, not intentionally, but inadvertently, because she was loose at the lips, she ran her mouth again, snitching, talking, telling. She ended up getting this man caught up. So now she's trying to figure out, is Tariq playing her or what? So she's ducking and dodging him real good. Evelyn,
If Tariq had snapped her neck when he first saw her in the park, like his daddy would have done, none of this would be happening.
yeah. Or better yet, he should have did her like how Ghost did with Lakeisha and Holly. You know, he gave both of them an opportunity to go away on their own. He tried to put some money in their hands, told them just disappear. But, you know, they didn't want to do that. But that's what Tariq really should have did. When he met with her the first time in the woods or whatever, behind Stansfield or whatever, he should have really offered her some money and said, listen, I need you to get out of town because when everyone else find out you're alive, they're not going to stop until you're gone. So I need you to disappear.
That would have been so smart.
That would have been so smart. I had such high hopes for Evelyn's character. Poor Evelyn.
Man, but she went out with a bang. Listen, this actress, you guys keep telling me her name. She did her thing in this scene.
Lauren Velez.
Lauren Velez, yeah.
Yeah, she did her thing in this scene. Like even her presence, the way she was standing. Like she's a seasoned actress. You can tell she commanded this scene.
And you know what? You should say that because I felt the same way. I felt like she kind of overpowered Monet somewhat in this scene. You know, Monet held her own to her because basically she showed up like, listen, I let you get a pass on what happened with my husband because at the end of the day, he was telling. But, you know, I'm not going to let you slide on what happened to my son. So, you know, you're going to tell me what's up with this, what happened. And, you know, Monet tries to, you know, hold her own against her or whatever. You know, like, I don't know if Evelyn was getting ready to reach in her purse and pull out, you know, a weapon or something, but it looked like things were getting ready to get intense for Monet and Evelyn until Kane showed up. And again, Kane is just being used as a weapon. That's exactly what he is a weapon. Her weapon showed up, and you know, all he had to say was one word, Evelyn. And Evelyn knew that she needed to get her ass up out of there real quick while she could.
This is my happy place number 3. When she said, "Stop lying, itch," I was like, "If you don't give Monet, okay." Yeah. It was good when she switched to pleading with her, and Mary J. Blige just kept looking at her side to side like a puppy trying to figure out what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? It was good. It was a good scene, and it was very chilling when she was like, "It feels like a threat." And then Kane said, "Evelyn." I was like, "Oh, girl, gather your things. You in hostile territory." It was a good scene.
Yeah, Miss Sharon, she got a twin. She got a twin sister. I don't know the twin name, but she has a twin sister. I definitely know that much, though. She has a twin sister. I haven't seen her in anything. Matter of fact, no, I don't think her sister is a.
That's what I'm saying. Her sister is not an actress. She's not an actress.
She's a singer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
She's a singer.
Yeah, her twin
I agree, Xavier. Evelyn would have gave Monet a run for her money. I think all the CEOs gave the Tejedas a run for their money.
I really wanted to see that, but you're right. Evelyn gathered her things and got on up out of there because she knew that this wasn't a safe place for her any longer. She had to get up out of there quick. Drew comes out of hiding. I feel like he was hiding in the freezer or something at the bar. He comes out. Oh my God! They're not going to stop looking for me, are they? No, you idiot. They're not because you just went on YouTube and told everyone that you unalive Gordon. So, yeah, they're not going to stop. You dummy.
I hate how they use him as a grenade. You know what I'm saying? They just pull the top and throw him into whatever situation they wanna damage. And his characters, to me, first season we saw them seem like he was gonna be more. You know what I mean? I would have loved for them to play him as like a Lobo's character, you know, psychotic and just quite mad, you know, but loving. I thought that would have been a better angle. But he's one of the most inconsistent characters in this franchise. Like it bothers me so much.
So it looks like the chat is going up for Evelyn. I agree. I really wish that we would have gotten more out of Evelyn's story before they terminated her.
More Tejeda than the Tejedas were.
Yeah. Mr. Jackal, that's a great question. That's going to be a poll this week that's going to go up on the community tab. But which Tejeda sibling must be terminated? And I'm going to go ahead and put my answer out there and says it has to be Drew.
I have to wait and think about that.
I want to say Diana for the obvious reason, but at this point, I want it to be Drew.
I was thinking Diana. But see, the crazy thing about it though is, like I said, if you go look at the prior two seasons up until now, Drew his character wasn't his character was the same. It's only this season that his
Yeah.
character flip flops.
Yeah,
And Kane is the steady one. I've been saying that. I was like, it was amazing to me how they did a 180 on both characters. How Drew now he's no longer level headed like how I used to be, and Kane is the level headed one now.
Wow, that's a good point.
Drew is such a waste of a character. Either do something with him or get rid of him. I couldn't agree more. Keep it cute.
I mean, Diana to me is the sibling next to Kane that has more value, right? Because she is super smart. She's able to disconnect from these lovers and this type of thing. If she could harness Diana, if she could get Diana's trust, Diana would actually be a major asset. She's super smart, super savvy. She knows how to handle herself. She's calm under pressure. Drew is so emotional. Like all the ops would have to do is just send a good looking guy in, and that's it. Drew's gonna get a chopstick to the ear. I mean, so yeah, to me, Drew is the weakest link.
Yeah, Drew's Drew's emotional attachment to everyone that's in his life creates a problem for him. Diana would be a much better soldier for the family if she was trained a little bit more. I need to see how she handles a weapon. I need to see how she handles herself with unaliving someone. If she has that cold
heartedness, so she is the weapon.
Yeah, if she has that cold hardness, that cold blood in her like Rock and Monet, then yeah, Diana can be the one. Diana can be the one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, she hasn't really been hurt enough yet to get that coldness. Like that coldness is developed, man.
I think it's developing. It's funny you should say that because I think it's developing because of her interaction with her mama. I think that's what's activating that coldness in her. Like with everything that's happening with Monet and her, I think that is going to be the catalyst. And I think the catalyst is going to be that she's going to ultimately somehow, some way end up taking out her mama. You know, I've already said that, and I just feel like that's how this is going to ultimately end. Diana's going to take out Monet, and she's going to be the new Monet. Obi has a strange hobby for fun.
At the office.
Yeah, day at the office. You know, I'm just sitting here getting this little work in real quick. You know, on the clock. And Tariq's sitting here looking at him like, this is really not where I need to be at right now. But it was just like, Tariq, how do you feel like you can even show up here and ask this man for any kind of favor when this man has been contentious with you the entire season, has not shown any type of liking towards you? The mere fact that you thought that he was going to even remotely consider wanting to do anything for you is laughable. And of course, we found out what Obi's motivation is in working with Noma. And Noma was probably using this as a safeguard to keep Obi in check, you know, because she could have very easily gotten Obi's people those papers for them, you know, to get citizenship here in the U.S. if she wanted to. But she was using that as leverage over Obi to keep him in line. Tariq decides that, hey, you know, I got somebody that can get your people these papers. You know, all I need you to do is stall out Noma for me. And really, what would have been smart for Obi was for Obi to go have a conversation with Noma and tell Noma what was up, what Tariq was trying to do, and still, you know, made Tariq think that he stalled him out. At least that would have kept the lines of communication open between him and Noma. But right here, that gives me some thought that maybe Obi may end up helping out Tariq.
I agree, Xavier.
I don't know.
It was one of those things, you know, it's the scab. You know, we try not to pick at it, but it's so obvious. I mean, they've traveled internationally.
Which means they have international passports, you know, not just a passport that goes from one country to the next, but multiple countries, right? You know, and usually, you know, visas, you know, maybe they have a tourist visa.
Yeah, I was about to say he probably
Maybe he's here on a tourist visa. You know, let's not be
visa or something.
I feel sorry for this guy. I just wonder what he did to.
I was trying to figure out what the hell did he have in his mouth to keep it open so he could pull the damn teeth
Holding
out.
it, yeah, the way he holding it, I was like,
because I was like, dude, just shut your mouth. And I'm like, but he holding it, and I was like, I couldn't even figure out what he had. Like he had a knife or something in his mouth. I couldn't.
Maybe they injected him with a paralytic or something. You know, maybe he's got some Orajel or something that numbed his mouth.
You know what they say about if.
If
was a fifth.
Of course, Tariq and old Shady Tate. At this point, I mean, can y'all not be tired of Tate at this point? I mean, I wish they utilized him for something else, but every scene that we see Tate in, we know what it's going to be about. We know that someone's going to him to ask him for a favor. He's going to shake him down. He's going to go do something shady. We know this. Like, we recognize this instantly when the character comes on screen. Tariq goes to meet with Tate to try to get the favor done for Obi about the green cards. Tate decides he wants to shake Tariq down for some information about Weston Holdings. Tariq says, "Oh no, Weston Holdings is a great place to work. You would do well if you invested your money there too." No, nothing's wrong at Weston Holdings. Tate look at him like, "You lying motherfucker." So because of that, Tate gets suspicious of the whole Weston Holdings thing and decides he wants to call up Harper. And who calls up? I don't know if this guy worked for the SEC. I don't know if he worked for the FBI. I don't know if he was an investigative reporter. Wasn't really clear who he was, but he was someone that already had suspicions about the Westons and Weston Holdings. And, Tate says, "You know what? This is exactly what I need to get up in the polls. I'm going to blow this whistle." And he blew his whistle.
Yeah, I think dude worked for the SEC, if I remember correctly.
He's black. He can't possibly work for the SEC. He's an investigative reporter. A black person working for the Securities Exchange Commission? Yeah, right.
I don't know.
He's got all this paperwork with him. It's just, right. I don't know. I mean, what Tate got done in like 2 hours.
I mean, real quick. He got that done with real quick.
Yeah, Obi gave Tariq 72 hours to get those green cards, right? One conversation with Tate, and basically he got the clearance for the green card. In the same breath, Tate does this. Where are the Rico sisters?
The Rico sisters is still in there trying to shake Effie down for some information. They busy right now. The Rico sisters ain't got time for that else right now.
But that's a Rico. Everybody they've got on that board should be flagged, right?
Yeah,
be flagged.
Yep.
So the moment Tate tries to execute this situation with the FBI, Brayden should have came up, right?
Yeah,
which should have directly led to the Rico sisters.
Big facts.
So it's just the way they set it up. It made me feel like, was this from the original Tate series?
That's what Xavier was saying. Xavier was like, at this point, just give Tate his own show because he's being used as a plot device, and he is.
Yeah.
He's been used as a plot device since season 5 of Power. So at this point, I am tired of the character being utilized like this. Give the character some more dimension. Give the character some more story.
Especially because he has so much power.
Exactly. He has so much influence.
I mean, he's more like RSJ, and we just got sprinkles of RSJ. Everything they wanted RSJ to be, really Tate is.
No, quintessential. You're right. Obi and Noman is not part of the Rico. However, the people that are aiding them and assisting them is part of the Rico. So I kind of get what Ms. Honey is saying with that. Any movement that Tate makes right now, his assets should be under investigation. His campaign should be under investigation because he's part of the Rico. The Tejedas, all their financial transactions, everything that they do should be flagged as a person of interest.
Yeah, those were FBI. Was that FBI that was raiding
That was FBI that was shaking rating down the whatchamacallit. And I think the black guy may probably be with the Securities Exchange Commission, but I'm not so sure. To me, it almost felt like he was like maybe an investigative reporter, because he says, I've been looking into this for years, but nobody never takes me serious, or whatever the case may be. And we learned that Sweeney was the one that was kind of like, keeping everything under wraps. So I don't know if he's someone else that worked in the political realm, or if he's someone that maybe a police investigator or something like that.
I thought he was like a watchdog or something like that.
That's what he is.
Harper, Harper's. She's a she's a tree hugger.
Yep. She's Wonder Woman. Yep. Saxe goes down here and
you mean Davis?
I mean Davis. Davis goes down here to meet with Effie. And Effie's like, I ain't here for it. Go on about your business. Whatever you selling, I ain't buying. I ain't want to talk to you about nothing. But she did tell Davis that, she has a lawyer that she has on retainer already, and that was going to come and see about her as soon as she can get the word to on the call. And Davis was like, well, it'd be in your best interest if you let me represent you. She's like, no, I don't want y'all help. Go on about your business. So really, B had asked me off camera about this, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all my theories about this whole lawyer thing. I do not believe that Effie had a lawyer at all. I think she was just saying that because she didn't want to use them for help. She didn't want to ask them for help, or whatever the case may be. I don't really think that she truly had a lawyer at all.
I thought the same thing.
I thought she was just using that as, a way to kind of just tell them to go and leave me alone. I got this. But really, she didn't have it.
She ain't have it because she was in there too long. Like, you yell, lawyer, and then we get Davis, then we get Kane going in there, and it was like, yo, you got this lawyer on retainer. Where's your lawyer at? Like, your lawyer should have been up there before Davis. So I felt the exact same thing. I felt like she was just saying that just to like buy time to try to figure out what it was she was.
What her next move was going to be, right? And then at the end of the day,
I love this scene. I love the fact that she called him out on being drunk. I love the fact that she made a conscious decision not to get in bed with Davis because everybody else is in bed with Davis, right? It would have just been foolish for her to think he had her best interest at heart. Effie has spent her life sorting through no accounts. You know what I'm saying? She knows
on the run.
She's seen him. She knows that this dude is unscrupulous. She can smell the alcohol on him. And she brave enough to call him out on it, send him on his way. But if you want to do me a favor, you can get me a phone call out of here. You can give me a phone call. Yeah. I can't call a real lawyer. You know what I mean? It just shows how savvy she is, how smart she is. In juxtaposition of Lauren, I said it before, I'll say it again. Tariq's an idiot. He's an idiot because Effie was his best choice, flat out.
You know what? Y'all got some good theories over here in the comments. So let's respond to the first one I saw that I liked. DeMarcus, you're right. I wish that Tate and Monet would have had a scene together, and it would have been great if Monet would have pulled up on Tate and be like, oh, since you wanted to drop a dime to the SEC about the Westons, how about you give me my $2 million back? It would have been funny if she would have passed that debt on to Tate, and it would have been interesting to see Tate squirm to try to get Monet's money back. That would have been dope. That would have been dope.
Because remember, he knows Tariq is working for Monet, so he probably would have tried to bring them all down.
I don't think Paula was a lawyer, unless they would have written it in a way that she was a lawyer, but she was also just working as Davis's investigator. But that would have been dope. Actually, I was getting ready to say before you put that comment up, DeMarcus, it would be dope if we saw a female version of Davis, a female version of Joe Proctor. Like, if we had a female lawyer like that for Effie, that would have been dope. I don't think
they'd have got more out of her with Paula, though.
They would have got more out of her with Paula, and it would have brought back the connection between her and Davis. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it would have given Paula a motivation to take Davis down.
Yeah, I think with a little bit more time and some better writing, man, this season
could have been explosive.
We could have just really. one of the things we love is falling in love with our characters, right? And it means something when they die. You know, we don't have any real connection with these characters. Like I would feel some type of way if he died, but still, I mean.
And then at the end of the day, going back to the whole Effie situation, then at the end of the day, the most obvious reason why she didn't trust any of them is they just got finished setting her up. They just got finished setting her up with the whole warehouse thing. So at the end of the day, she don't know who she can trust.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they had just got finished setting her up, so she don't know, what's up. Like, you already used it one time.
She understood it though, right? She said she understood why they did.
Yeah, Effie's the only one who, with her eyes open, she knows she can't really trust anybody at the end of the day but herself, and that makes her smarter than every other character here. Honestly,
I agree with that too, quintessential. By the fact that Effie is kind of moving solo dolo now, that makes her even more dangerous because
I love it.
Yeah, she can't be controlled.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she would be an excellent villain. And she would be Kane's new Monet. Like, he's really fallen for her. Anytime you can hurt a dude like that feelings, you dangerous in that relationship. Like, she could be the strong lead. She could be the Noma here.
She was definitely lying about the lawyer, but I don't know how much about her.
She couldn't get a phone call out.
Yeah, she couldn't get a phone call.
They was mucking with her, not giving her the phone call out because she wouldn't talk to them.
And remember, Davis even said, I'll go have a talk with the captain about it. That'll be my parting gift to you. But they usually use that as a tactic to get you to cooperate. So I believe that. I believe that they had, because we already saw that they were using tactics against her because they had her in a holding cell with all these other hardened criminals or whatever, and they thought that was going to be enough to break her. But she was like, no. So I don't necessarily think that she was playing hard because she handled herself very well. They didn't show her wigging out. They didn't show her scared. They didn't show her anything. They just showed her like, listen, I'm not going to give y'all what y'all think y'all going to get out of me. So you're wasting your time with me, and I want my phone call. And she never did get it.
Yeah, I agree.
You are the only black person in this office. Damn, girlfriend. Well, anyway, the FBI raids Western Holders, and all the white privilege comes out and like, oh my God, what's going on? Are you here for the black guy?
I mean, they're literally all wearing the same suit.
They're all the same person. What are you talking about? They're like they're like carbon copies of each other.
Like, give me 50,
bump into one, they'll multiply the two. Right. Like, oh my God, are they here for that St. Patrick's guy? Or are they here for the black people?
No, the actor who plays Robert Weston and the son, they look so much alike.
Yeah. They look like they are the poster child textbook definition of white privilege.
Yeah, it was crazy. And there's Kiki's
lost.
Black.
Lost. But we said that, homegirl, they were going to lay all this on your feet. Like, did you think?
I mean, I stand corrected. She's definitely a profit whore. We kind of learned that last episode when Brayden was telling her how he had found out about the Ponzi scheme, and she was like, huh? What are you talking about? And then she stood behind Uncle Dishbag and like co-signed it all. I said in my review for episode 9, that's when she should have bailed out. Like,
yeah, she should have bailed in.
As a black person, like, you really have drank the Kool-Aid if you don't think they would drop all this junk at your door, man.
Yep,
exactly.
And we saw that that's kind of what his intentions were. If it had not been for Brayden,
yeah,
that's what would have happened. That's what would have happened. All this would have, and even though he was going to try to pin it on Robert and her, that this would have ultimately end up being pinned on her. White privilege would have saved him. But
shout out to Brayden, though. I mean, because he wasn't devastated at all when he found out his uncle had slid down the same tunnel he'd been down. Like, I would have threw up in my mouth a little bit, but he was fine with it.
Brayden's dad is upset, and he's like, is this okay? We heard that Trace, Brayden's brother, kind of accused Kiki of sleeping with Lucas, and so it's obvious that everybody knew that they were kind of working their own agenda or whatever the case may be. But of course, Kiki was able to keep her cool. She was able to maintain composure, even though she was probably very nervous.
She was indignant, like, how dare you? Nobody was supposed to talk about that. Like, oh my girl, you're beautiful, but you're still black.
Yep. And so I felt like Brayden's father reaction should have been a little bit more than what it was, because like, you knew about this and you didn't tell me about it. Like, when he was
I
like,
guess that's
"Oh,
why
he
he
forced
said
me to
he
keep it
was
secret," I was like, "Yeah, that's not believable." Like, Brake's dad should have been like pissed to the moon, like real bad.
Yeah, this kind of bothered me. The Jenny Sullivan kind of bothered me because juxtaposed to how Monique acted when Monet acted when she saw Lolo's body, and juxtaposed Robert Weston to James St. Patrick, right? Like, it just seems like to me in this franchise, they uplift whiteness. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
write it with care, as opposed to how they kind of sling around the perception of blackness.
You know what? It's funny you should say that, because it goes back to my initial perception of the character. First sight, first scene, I instantly felt like this character was, someone that was going to be used as, I'll do anything for money type person. And I hate that they do our characters like that. The closest that we got to a stand-up black character on this show was Terry Silver. And, we wasn't going up for him. But yeah, it's kind of like most of the black characters on this show is typecast in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And, we all wear so many different types of typecasting. Sometimes we're Uncle Tom, sometimes we're a thug, sometimes we're a whore, sometimes we're a criminal, a drug dealer. So, there's so many different labels that they put on us. In this show, they do a very good, well, I'm not going to say they do a very good job, but they illustrate that through the characters, all the different type of typecasts that are put on persons of color.
Yeah, even with Brayden. I mean, Brayden is trying to come out like he's whistle stop.
He's a wigger.
And Tariq told him to get out repeatedly, man. Repeatedly. He was the one that wanted to go
his
hard.
His family told him to get out repeatedly. Yeah, his family even told him that he needed to step through.
I just don't like the way he talked to Tariq. You know what I'm saying? You might not have killed anybody yet, but dude, you hid the bodies. Like, you helped Kane dig a hole and bury a body, dude. Like, come on. And he's just, I don't want to turn out like you. I'm like, well, you two things.
You already have. Yeah, you have, because didn't he help bury Ramirez? Was it Ramirez? Yeah, I thought it was Ramirez. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess he felt like he ain't necessarily, quote unquote, get his hands dirty, because he didn't unalive anybody, and then especially his family, like Tariq did. So I think that's what he was saying. Like, I don't want to become you. Like, I like the drugs and the money and all that fast life stuff, but like mentally, I don't want to be like you. Because
no, that's the stuff you tell yourself, though, right? That's the stuff you tell yourself to say, I'm not as bad as Tariq, right? But Tariq killed what's old boy that was married to Stern? They walked in on him, pulling the knife out of that dude.
Bash. Okay, so let's go there, Xavier. Okay, so you're right. We have had stand-up black people on the show like Tamika, RSJ, Donovan, Quentin, but they never stay long. So let's go ahead and take apart each one of those characters that the show did. So with Tamika, she was a high-powered attorney working in the federal building. I think she was like head of the task force, or she was like the head lawyer in charge, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, you see how they played her out, and they fired her. RSJ comes from a colorful or checkered background, and he came from nothing and became something. Now what? Half of his money is gone in the Ponzi scheme. Quentin was an ex-con that was out here trying to single-handedly raise his daughter until he met Tasha, who tried to screw him over and put charges on him. So he's gone. Donovan died in witness protection trying to protect Dre. And, then they were trying to set him up with Sandoval. So, again, they always put these extra things on the black characters that, they never make you root for these characters long. Or, these characters never have a happy ending. It's one of the two. They either end up unalive or they get a terrible ending. Like, they never get a happy ending. None of these characters got a happy ending.
I mean, this whole episode was really an homage to Saxe, right?
Yeah.
Like, from Jenny crying over his body and them lamenting over him. Old boy reprimanding Blanca, show some respect. The dude was ousted. He should even been a part of this. He'd been ousted from state work altogether. That's why he was in private sector. Okay, and Brayden, when Tariq wanted to stay in the dorm and chill, Brayden was out there wilding, right? So now we've come to this place where he thinks so highly of himself that he chastises Tariq about how bad he is. I don't want to turn out like you, man. I don't want to be you, right? But you've been him since the beginning. Since y'all was at Choke, dude, you've been him. You love this. You bathe in it, right? But for them to write this character where he's got so much wherewithal to not only chastise Tariq but look down on him. Okay.
I didn't take it as looking down. Like I said, I think it was more so just a mental thing as to where he see how
He was scared.
Tariq was before, the person he was before. Like, yeah, of course he was getting his hands dirty, but they ain't go that. He didn't become this quote unquote like madman or something until after he unalived Ghost, and then after that, for him, it was nothing. It's like everybody like they gotta go. Like I think that's what I looked at it as. That's what he was saying. Like, I don't want to become.
I'm glad you brought that up, because why did he act like Brayden didn't know that he killed his dad? Why did he go off so bad?
I mean, he never told him though. He never told him.
He told everybody. He told everybody, but Brayden, it was so weird.
He kind of alluded to it, but never really admitted to it. Yeah, but these are your friends, and when you're friends with someone that okay, let's just be honest. When you have friends that are out in the streets and they in the life, it's not beyond the realm of possibility when certain things happen, and you tend to look at that friend like, are you capable of doing that? Yeah, you probably are. You know what your friends are capable of. You know how they kind of move. So Brayden was like, well, whether Tariq admitted to it or not, I'm watching you unalive people left and right around me. So, it's not unbelievable to think that you might have killed your own father.
I still harken it back to the writing. I'll just say that. Even to write Tariq in this way, they haven't written him. They give us the illusion of smart, but seriously, he sucks. He sucks as a criminal. He's a great schemer, right? He's a great schemer. He's good at setting up a caper, but he's definitely anyway, I'm just saying how they've written both characters where now they're in this place. I just think it could have been written differently. It could have been written better. And I don't think you would have seen the same conversation between James and Tommy.
Yeah. So let's get on to this letter. So Jenny gets this letter from Saxe, and she opens it up and she reads it, and she has this emotional breakdown. And it almost seems like the two of them may have had a past previously, which would have been another opportunity for them to show us if they would have given us that Saxe backwards episode, where it could have had a deeper conversation between him and Jenny on what motivated him to help her, and really what motivated him to help her was his feelings that he had for her. And she clearly had feelings for him too, but she was trying to hide behind her degree in her case, and it didn't help. And it really would have been interesting to even understand what Jenny's motivation is for trying to get a win out of this case. So she ends up putting the letter down. Her twin Rico sister reads it. She's like, "Oh, you and Saxe really was a thing." Like, yeah. But I don't know. We know that in Saxe's letter to Jenny, he tells her to let this go, that this is going to consume her and take over her and ultimately bring her down like it did him. She needs to let this go. And for her own sake, she does need to let this go, but she's not going to let go. This is going to make things worse for her.
That was a pointless thing.
they pull up on Davis, and Davis is just a drunken mess still. He's still trying to, bob and weave with all that he's faced with right now. But, he's really not in a good place. He's not in a good space emotionally, but he's doing well under the circumstances.
I mean, that hairline is holding up through all the stress. Really, it is.
They pull up on him and they ask him, "Yo, what's on that paper that you slid Diana in the interrogation room?"
Is that a crime, you guys? I just want to know: is that a crime?
No, it's not. It's not a crime. It's not a crime per se, but it becomes a gray area because you have to ask yourself, what did the note say? And that's basically what they were trying to figure out. So not necessarily a crime, but the fact that it was done under a nefarious way. It was staged. A whole accident was staged where the coffee was waste. So you have to ask yourself, why go through all this when this is your client? That you're meeting with. You can speak openly to your client because your conversation is not being recorded audibly. The audio wasn't recorded. The audio wasn't recorded.
I was like,
the audio wasn't being recorded, so you have to ask yourself why go through all the necessary measures of sliding her the secret note. So that's what they were trying to unpack with that, and trying to hope that he would break down and reveal, that we were trying to coerce Diana into giving Saxe false information. Which really, if they would have played that right, they could have really got some information out of Davis, but he held his own on that one.
That's a good question.
I mean, if he knows, that it's not a crime, I wouldn't have even dignified it. I'd have been like, don't worry about what I did with my client. Like, it was, I don't know. And speaking of the Rico sisters, look how many scenes Blanca just stands there and looks in. like Jenny's really running this whole Rico situation.
She is running this. This is the Jenny Sullivan show. Brayden and Tariq meet up at this abandoned office space, exhibit space somewhere in New York.
I figured somewhere in the Western building.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the Western building. It's like the Bat Cave over there. They got all kind of secret passages and, empty floors.
Let's look at the egg in the back of the head. Look at the slouched in pelvis, like the hands open, I mean, this was a crazy scene for me. It was so Tommy James St. Patrick, like the lighting, the kind of the backdrop of it was kind of the same way. But man, they used to have some really good arguments. And this just, I don't know, it was kind of reminiscent of that to me.
It reminded me of a Ghost and Tommy scene too, where they would meet up somewhere and speak openly. And Tariq is basically like, listen, what we gonna do? Because my money is washed. I need you to go deal with your uncle. But Brayden's like, I don't want to end up like you. That someone that can unalive my father. Like, no, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And they're kind of going back and forth. But Tariq basically like, listen, you can't be halfway in this life. You chose to want to be in this life, so I need you to stand up and do what you need to do for this family. Because you worried about your family, but you the one who said that you really ain't had shit for your family. So I need you to hold it down for us, because this is just as much a part of you as it is a part of me. So I kind of felt Tariq on that. Like, Tariq gave him the reading that he needed to understand, because he skipped a few pages in the book. But those pages are like, listen, you don't committed crimes, you aided in murders. Like, don't try to sit here and make your hands so clean while mine are bloody. Like, your hands are just as full of blood as mine.
Exactly. I also felt like how they kept telling, how Kane kept telling him, like, they kept showing, like, Bray got to prove himself. I felt the same way with this scene. Like, Tariq said, like, yo, bro, like, I've been covering you for I covered you with the Russian, been covering you for the longest time. But I also think that, I guess maybe Brayden feels he doesn't really have to, because he took the weight for them selling drugs up at Stansfield.
At Stansfield, yeah.
So maybe that's why he felt like, look,
I mean,
I don't know already.
So Xavier, I'm going to partially answer this question and then we'll get into it more. So don't forget it. Ask it again next week. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. Tariq does not have access to the proceeds from the club. From my initial thought process, I'm gonna have to go back and watch those episodes again. But from my initial process of thinking towards that, was the proceeds were being put into that trust, like all that was going into the trust.
Yep.
The clubs, the ownership of the clubs, as well as any other proceeds from the business, is going into the trust. Kind of like a money market, or
I mean, technically, he wasn't supposed to be able to touch anything, though, right? Like, he wasn't really supposed to be able to touch anything. He found a loophole to touch it just for the RSJ thing, right? The building that he sold him.
But him losing, that's correct, Miss Honey. Him losing his trust creates a whole bunch of other problems. Because remember, the trust was paying for his schooling. The trust was supposed to be paying for Raina's child care. Because remember, the grandmother was using the money out of the trust to go to the liquor store. So him losing that trust is created a whole bunch of problems for him now, because he gonna get put up out of that school because he ain't got no way to finance his education anymore unless he pay for it like Effie with the work. Maybe all his work sells out, so I don't know.
He is right now.
Right.
Let me just say something really quick. I'm sorry. I wanted to just be clear about the Brayden situation. I don't really give Brayden as much kudos for confessing about the drugs, because I think inherently he knows that he was not going to get the same repercussions as Tariq. The way they write this Brayden character, it's like he's Tariq's saving grace, right? Like they're positioning him to look down on Tariq when your mom, your sister, your brother, like they're all addicts, right? They're all crackish. So I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I just think the way that they write, they position Brayden to look down on the Tariq character, and I don't think it's. I don't like the way they wrote the Saxe situation either. Like, he was smart enough to. It's just, I see it. I don't know if anybody else sees it.
I see it. Xavier said go take out some student loans. He gonna have to, because that money is washed. And a very expected white privilege move, Lucas decided to call down to the Rico team and say, I'm in hiding right now because I know who's responsible for the Ponzi. And I also know about criminal and drug activity that's taking place at Western Buildings. I'll give you all the information you need. I just need some protection and immunity. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know where this is going. I know exactly where that was going.
When you hug that pillow, I was like, you're such a eater.
Yeah, when he hugged that pillow, I was like, yeah.
That, but I also felt like he wanted to get back at all of them anyway. Tariq, Brayden, and RSJ.
Oh, for sure.
For uncovering all that. So he's like, you know what? Bam. Okay, I got something for you. So that's exactly why he did that.
And not only that, but look how Tariq, as Miss Honey loves to say, mollywop, played him out. Tariq played him out. RSJ played him out. So yeah, it was definitely.
Monet played him out.
Monet played him out at the country club.
He gave her the same fake smile he gave RSJ and them. Like, yeah, no problem. I got your money. No problem. He knew all along he was never going to pay them.
He never had any intentions on right. He never had any. He made sure that their money was one of the first to go out. Right. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I think this was a whole. I'm gonna get back at you from beyond the grave, kind of like what Saxe is doing. Like, oh, okay, you think you got me in a corner, but at the end of the day, I still got my money. You don't.
Now the question is, they ever gonna get it? Find that money and where it's at? What account?
Well, sound like they know something about it already, because didn't Brayden's brother say something about he had already been moving money? He had been moving money all along.
Yeah, that's my other thing with the Brayden character. Like, he's very smart and computer savvy. I don't know why he didn't talk Kiki into at least, kind of holding off money for the people that he knows
exactly. That's what I wanted to see too.
With Monet them, at least He could have talked her into, hey, I need you to funnel off $4 or $5 million so I can pay these people back, or it's going to be my life. As opposed to them writing him, I'm going to go and have a stern talk with Uncle Dishbag, and he's going to straighten up and fly right.
Right, like that was going to happen. But you know what? That would have been great character development for the two of them.
Yep.
They could have been the next Tommy and Keisha, so to
Yep.
speak, but Keisha on a whole different level. But
Yep.
yeah, and that may be some development for those characters, because at this point, Brayden has saved her a couple of times now.
Mhm.
Not necessarily physically saved her from being unalive, but saved her, you know, like gotten her out of tight positions.
Yep.
So that would have been a good way for her to repay that debt to him and been like, listen, because obviously they're writing the character where she knows all Lucas's loopholes and dirty secrets, and like she knew where to find him. She knew where to find him at. So yeah, she's
That was
like, okay,
crazy,
I have
man.
access to the accounts. I have access to the accounts. I'm going to transfer this money out for y'all. And you know, like you said, Miss Honey, that would have been a perfect way for them to salvage her character and keep her part of the story, where she could have been getting money back for them on the side.
Yeah, it kind of seems like the money that he funneled off was the Tejeda money, and you know what I'm saying,
Maybe the RSJ money and Tariq's
ran
money.
with.
Yep. That's the money he funneled off. Yep. That would have been perfect. And you know what? We may be giving them some ideas since they're on a writer's strike right now. So those of you who are watching our show over there at the Stars Network, go ahead and write down on the into season 4 storyline that
Been saying since episode 1. Holla at us. We'll make sure this joint get right.
we'll get this right. We'll clear up all these little holes that y'all got in the story. She over there at her place packing up her stuff, and she getting ready to go back to Columbus because her family, you know, she's another Lauren. She's another Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that they keep writing all of our characters like this. You know, she comes from a privileged family, and she's had to work hard to get where she's at. And now she's got to, you know, scrape up her designer rags and get on a bus back to Ohio. Like, nah, they should really salvage the character by saying, you know what? Now that Lucas is gone, I have access to the accounts. I got the money. You know, we can go ahead and start our own thing. You know, especially when she was trying to drop that ideal in Brayden's head when they laying up, that you don't need Tariq for this. Like, you know, it could be very much the Kiki and Brayden show if they wrote that.
It was weird that she wasn't, you know, that she was kind of running and tucking her tail as opposed to bossing up. I just thought that was odd for her. I mean, what she had accomplished so far really showed a lot of balls, actually.
Exactly. They could have done way more with her character. They could have made it in such a way where she was like, okay, you know what? Let's go do our own thing, Brayden. We're going to get this money. And, you know, if you still want to help out Tariq, that's fine. But, you know, he was on to something with the cat because she showed interest in all that when she found out about the crash coin and all that. And she was impressed with the fact that he had took the crash coin and, you know, made it profitable and all that. So they could have really kept that momentum going on the side. It's kind of like how Effie did with the Course Correct app and all that. They should have really had Kiki start aiding them. You know,
didn't Brayden go to her though when he had the Tejeda money? Didn't he use her specifically to
he used her to wash the money. Remember, because he said half of it is legit and the other half isn't. And he was like, I need you to clean this up. She's like, okay, I got you. So
I mean, for him to know that and still have this tender heart for her is odd. I don't know. I was expecting her to be just a little bit more ruthless. Man, I wanted
a little bit more had a backup plan. She should have had her own backup plan, knowing that she's the only black surrounded around white privilege. You know, you got to have your escape route. You got to have.
I mean, she's talked a good game though. Like every time Brayden has come to her with this kind of mealy mouth, poor mouth, and stuff, she's told him to suck it up, put your big boy panties on, woo 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 woo. Yeah. And now this scene here. We just see her being, I'm running, I'm scared, I'm going back to my parents' farm in Wisconsin. You know, it's just so, again,
unexpected for the character.
Yeah. Because I think she never thought they would get caught. And then especially once them feds get involved, and she knew for a fact that, dang, I can't even remember his name. Brayden uncle was going to throw her immediately under the bus. It was like, nah, I got to go. And they couldn't find him, so she knew right in there, I got to go.
So just as I said, the great caper of this episode was, and where do Kane and Drew get these props from? Like, where do they get access to all this stuff that they use?
I liked it. It just gave me the original power feels. I loved it. I really
loved it too.
It wasn't as cavemanish as the other things that they've done. I thought it showed forethought. I mean, you got to know how to really work with gas, right? Like, you can't be smart about it.
Well, they had their mask. They had their mask on.
It was not saying it was broad daylight, but it wasn't like it was like late at night. It was cars turning the corner.
Yeah.
So it's like, you trying to tell me don't nobody see these two dudes who
they're in New York, though. In New York, this city that never sleeps, so there's stuff going on all the time.
Yeah. And then can't go up there and just lock. Like, come on, man. Like that was the only gripe I had about that whole thing.
Yo, it was very Tommy and James.
Ghost. It was very Tommy and Ghost, yeah. They don't went for a whole gas truck, they don't create this whole elaborate thing to get into the ventilation system.
We should do a show where we talk about the many different ways that Tommy and Ghost made their kills. Like they've had some really
that would be a dope show. That'll be a dope show. Let's do it. I like that.
Yeah, I'm down.
My favorite is James St. Patrick in the elevator with the Ukraine. Was it a Ukrainian? What was that dude? Where he used the piano wire?
Serbian.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the best scenes, man.
Yeah, it was. So Evelyn, before she takes her last breath, literally, tells Drew that it was Monet, and Kane, who's only about 2 feet away, walks up to Drew and asks, well, did she say anything? I'm like, did you not hear the conversation? But obviously not. It was only meant for Drew's ears only. And
I think he was still checking other bodies.
Yeah, he go ahead and suffocates her, and Evelyn is now gone. Now this is the crazy part about it is, though, this goes back to Kane. Kane said originally, let's take out the Castillos. Let's take them out. Drew was the one who did not want to take them out.
What about Kabanda? Gorgonzola?
Listen to Kane to begin with. We wouldn't be here now.
You want to take out Ghirardelli? All of them, they're like our cousins.
Yep.
That's what he said. The do-rag, I just feel like when you wear these do-rags in these scenes to commit crimes, you give do-rags a bad name, man.
It's part of his kill kit. Ghost just put on the black Timbs and the all black and his little Nike vest when he went to go.
You gotta protect the waves. You can't let any blood get on your.
That's part of the uniform. That's part of the uniform. This whole scene right here, I could have did without too, because we already knew when Diana showed up at Tariq's dorm that she was going to find that paperwork. That was just setting us up for Diana to be able to find that paperwork. He's got to go because RSJ is calling him. He's texting. He's texting Pinky to find out where Lucas is hiding up. And they find out that he's in a condo in Tribeca, which that's where Ghost and Tommy and Tasha and them, they all used to live in Tribeca. So I thought that was real neat, interesting. It would have been dope if he was actually able to show him living in Ghost and them old penthouse. That would have been dope.
It looked like the same place though that Tariq killed Stern's husband. But does this mean that Lucas was in the life? He was part of the community?
Why you say that?
I'm just trying to figure out what is Pink?
I don't understand how.
That haircut was beautiful.
Okay, so Pinky is the chick that they used to fence the ring, the fence Noma's ring. She was the chick that we got introduced in the very first episode of this season, where she took the ring to the auction house. But it was unclear as to how Tariq knew who she was and what previous dealings they had.
Okay. Now it makes sense. Because I
was the chick.
I thought she saw him out in the club or something.
Pinky was the chick that fenced the ring.
Yeah, but Pinky also looks like Pinky's in the life though. You know what I'm saying? Like part of the community. And you know, typically, how you gonna use Pinky to find them unless you know Lucas is placed in places where Pinky would be. You get what I'm saying? Like
Davis did fence the ring, but he fenced it
the
through
Rainbow
Pinky.
Network to find him.
Davis did fence the ring, but he fenced it through her. She showed up to his office that night. He was like, "I need you to get rid of this for me." And remember, they showed her opening the ring up, and she was like, "Say less, I got you." And remember, she took it to the jeweler who appraised it, and next thing you know, we saw it at the auction. So that's who she was. But they didn't make it clear as to how Tariq knew who she was and what he did for in the past.
That's what Quintessential is saying.
He used her for some other schemes, but it's not clear as to what he's used her for.
Man, Pinky probably made good money.
You see that stack that Tariq gave her? Shit.
Boys play nice now.
Dirty Diana.
Yeah, like you said, I'm with you, Retro. Like, I definitely could have done without this thing because we all knew what was going to happen. Like, as soon as she showed up, like, we knew what was going to happen. We knew damn well, like, I didn't know if it was going to be that per se, but I figured if she was going to find something that was going to, I don't know, turn them against Tariq or something. I wasn't sure it was going to be that, but I figured it was going to be something that he had hidden in that room, or maybe something they could use leverage against Tariq about.
Yeah, but the mere fact that Diana would even think that Tariq was setting her up, it was just stupid. But at the end of the day, even if he was, it's called your get back. That's your get back. I mean, you robbed this dude last season for all his work. You went up to those same lockers, you stole the QR code off of his phone and pretended to, be upset and got the access to his phone and everything. So even if he was setting you up, that's your get back. So you try to act like you've been so loyal to Tariq, you haven't. But again,
you go to his sausage party that he had, and it's not the first time he's thrown a sausage party. He threw a sausage party for Effie too, and Effie took his drugs at Cho.
Right. So I mean, you give him your body party all the time. So like you should be thinking about how you move with this dude. Like if you feel like you can't trust him, then don't put yourself in a position where dude can screw you over. But it's a plot device. That file right there, we knew that file right there was going to, give her the fuel that she needed to.
I hate a snooper. I hate snoopers. It's just it's something so schmarmy about a snooper.
They should have put that in the what you call that?
What?
Help me out. What you said that like his get back, he should have said that he would have been like, why would I set you up? Although you stole from me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they should have put that in the. You know what I'm trying to say in the script. They should have put that. Would have been dope if they would have put that in the script.
It's just little nuggets like that I wish they would give us. Like realistically speaking, like the characters just forget when someone else like. They did it with Effie and Tariq when they first started back working together. Tariq confronted her about, you stole my work at Choke and you turned me over. So, like, the mere fact that he hasn't confronted Diana about stealing his work and the fact that she thinks that, he doesn't have a right to be upset with her, even though we know that wasn't the case. So we knew that when she found this file that this was only going to make things worse for him because she's going to be like, oh, yeah, Tariq knew that Poppy unalived Zeke and Monet and Tariq are working together or whatever. So now it's a mission to get rid of Monet and Tariq.
It's it was such a good look for him too, right? Like we see this implied savviness that he has, but for him to be a little bit more slick at the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Have a little bit more, he's very reactionary, but you know what I'm saying? He doesn't really go hard in the paint verbally at all. And I thought that was a great scene between him and Effie when he called her out on it, actually. So that's a great point.
I wanted to see that with him and Diana. Like, I wanted him to work Diana over one good time. And, like, let Diana know.
He did work her over. They were just naked when it happened and no business.
I needed him to remind Diana that,
agreed.
You in this life. You in this life, so whatever happens, it's happened. There ain't no friends in the street. So... I'm sick of Diana too. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I thought he was sick of it. For real though.
Monet is sitting here trying to have her some lunch.
What'd you say, Fresh?
I said at one point I thought like when she said you working with the feds, I thought then is when he was about to check her. But he I thought that's when he was about to go off and just go on this tangent like, yo, like you know what I'm saying? It just spaz out on her, but he never did. So I was like, oh, okay. That's why I was saying what Retro said earlier. That would have been dope if they had put that like, yo, remember you stole from me. You took the key, the QR code and everything. You stole from me. I could have been got you back. Why would I do it now? And why would I have my attorney go down there to try to get you out?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I
man.
If I was trying to set you up, I would have let you stay there. It wouldn't have been no throwing Effie under the bus to try to get you out. Like, think, Diana, you're not smart. Think. That's what he should have said to her. Diana, you're not as smart as you think you are. Yeah. Think.
Dummy was really trying to get all emotional and
right.
Trying to get away.
Like, you already got this D. You already got this D. Like, what more do you want? What more do I have to prove to you that we in this thing, right? We better be together. Like, damn, stupid. These Tejeda kids have no problem.
Teen Titans.
They crazy ass mama. They crazy ass mama is sitting here with a knife in her hand. Like, y'all might want to think about how y'all approach her. She's sitting here trying to have some lunch, and they come in here like, yo, what's up with all these 21 questions? And she wasn't here for none of it. Like, she cussed all of them.
This ninja that dropped. He's dropped 4 bodies just this morning, right? Look at this dude, how he walks in here. I mean, and then got mushed.
Yeah. Yo, but I was dying. Yo, Monet was dragging Diana. Like, let that bitch go. Let that bitch go. Yo, when she told Diana, she was like, Diana was sitting here trying to run down on her about Lorenzo. She was like, how the fuck you know? She was like, how you know? It was an accident. You don't know shit. Like,
it was so black family though. Like it was true black family. Like she tagging out the daughter, mushing Drew in the face, and then Kane was like, shoot, I ain't in this. We didn't see him no more after this.
Right. Kane got the fuck on up out of there because he know his mama crazy.
It's all about me.
But yo, I'm sorry, yo. I'm on Monet's side with this. Like, I'm on Monet's side like this. Yeah, she was mucked up for unaliving Lorenzo. Yeah. But at the same time, she ran down Lorenzo's whole resume for them. Like, and she reminded them, oh, so y'all think y'all father was innocent in all this? Like, Drew, he played your dumb ass out by having you get beat down and jumped on by GTG, trying to cover up his lie. Diana, oh, you thought he was doing something nice for you by sending you up to Stansfield? No, he was trying to get your little nosy ass up out this house because he knew that we couldn't say nothing around your little nosy ass, so we had to get you the fuck up out the way.
I mean, but Lorenzo's not there to rebut himself. To say she could have told him anything. She could have told him that. I mean, she could have told him anything. Lorenzo came.
But what she was saying was true though, because we saw that through the story. We saw how Lorenzo was moving through the story. So like what she was saying wasn't wrong.
We saw that Lorenzo wanted to move Diana because she was nosy.
Yep. And she was her weakness. So he knew that he could get whatever he wanted out of her. He knew that he could get what out of her that he couldn't get out of Drew and Kane. And that was a certain level of loyalty, allegiance. So he played that to his advantage. And just like she told us, she said, he had your dumb ass up there selling work at that school. And you see what happened to you up there. So don't try to come in here and act like I'm the villain.
It all for me.
Yeah. She was like, don't try to come up here and act like I'm the villain. Like, I got rid of him. And what?
That's true. I mean, also at the same time, like
Monet, I just don't know how she thinks that anybody's gonna respect.
But it's like Kane told them, like Kane told them, let's not don't play in our face. Don't play in our face and try to make Lorenzo out like he was this civilian and he was a hero. When he first came home, he had Monet serving him chicken. He had Monet serving him fried chicken when he first came home. Come on, Lorenzo was not
watermelon slices. It was
watermelon and fried chicken. He had her serving watermelon and fried chicken. He gave her money and told her to stay in the house and watch Judge Faith. Like, listen, Lorenzo was already out here moving grimy and dirty anyway. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been locked up. So Lorenzo's character, he was loyal to his family to a certain degree. But you also saw where in Monet's eyes, in Monet's perception, she always felt like Lorenzo didn't accept Zeke as
He
part of
didn't
the
know
family.
about Zeke though, did he? Until Diana blew it up.
Yeah.
No, he did. But even before that, he knew Zeke as the nephew. So
Yeah.
remember when Zeke got roped up in those charges, and she went to Lorenzo and asked Lorenzo could she put the house up for his bail or for his defense, and he was like, no. But if it was
Yep.
one of our children, you could. So it was like little comments like that resonated in Monet's character, where she felt like, okay, well, my child's not being accepted, you know, and then you end up ultimately, accidentally, however it happened, took out my child. So in Monet's eyes, like she's trying to get vengeance for her child because at the end of the day, he died at Lorenzo's hands, whether it was planned or unintentionally. It just Monet felt like she was doing what she needed to do to avenge her child's death. So
I mean, she told him that. She said,
she
"I
was
would have did it for
evil.
any
Yes,
one of
she's
y'all."
evil. Yes, she's evil. But I mean, I understand how she moved the way she moved. I mean, I do.
Yeah. She told him that though. She said, "I would have did the same for any one of y'all." The
Yeah.
exact same.
And I felt her on that.
And plus, I think she still feel that like it wasn't an accident. Well, it was more so, matter of fact, because she even said it here in the scene. She said it was the fact he knew he didn't and tried to cover it up. He ain't come clean about it.
Yeah. That's
He
what
knew
made it worse for her.
That's
Yeah.
what made it worse for her. Like he tried it, like she said, the memorial and everything. He tried to cover all of this up where he could have just came clean and said, "I accidentally shot."
Yeah, because that's what she told Diane. She said, how the fuck you knew it was an accident? Like, you don't know that. But, you know, it really was an accident. But in Monet's eyes, she don't look at it as that. She look at it, well, he was trying to cover up his track and he was using all y'all dumb ass to do so.
Yep.
I mean, for me, Kane again stole this scene. Like he disappeared like that Homer meme in the hedge.
Yep, he sure did.
He out of all the children, he's acutely aware of what Monet is capable of, and he knows the lengths she has gone, even when she went in there and killed old boy and blamed it. They cut his head off and took it to the Russians. Like he's seen her do some super grimy stuff. So at the same time, she may be right about some things, but he knows, man. He knows just how bad it could be, and he knows how ruthless she can be. Remember, she cut him off like, "You dead to me? You're not my son," right?
Oh yeah, what is it, season 2 when she put him out the family? Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm trying to remember what she put him out for.
She put him out because he went against the family. Remember, he went against the family, with the taking out
because that when he started working
police
with
lover, her police lover.
No, he killed. Oh, did she put him out for that, or did she kill him? Did he kill the police lover because she wouldn't let him back in? Because when he would come around, she would treat him like he was a rogue dog, like back in your cage. Like, what are you doing here? This is for family. Same way she kind of did Diana, but she was way more.
Okay, question for the chat then. What did Monet put Kane out for? Because I can't.
I thought it was for the Quaps. I thought it's because
he
started working with the Quaps. Because remember, he started working with.
Or was it because they GTG had rolled up on Zeke and put a gun on Zeke? I don't
remember what you call it being there though. I remember Drew being there, but I don't remember Kane being there.
Yeah, but he orchestrated all that.
You guys are having a great conversation in the chat, man. I mean, I agree that Tejeda kids should be more street savvy.
I thought it was when he replaced the drugs with the sugar too. Drew's universe. I thought it was that too. About the drugs. But I think that was all after the fact too, though. I think that was all after the fact too.
I might have to
go
back.
When Mecca came on the scene. That was when Mecca came on the scene when he had put the sugar in the drugs.
Yeah,
that's right.
He took to Mecca because he had been kicked out.
He took to Mecca because he had been kicked out, but I can't remember what she kicked him out for. It had something to do with Ramirez, Zeke, GTG. It had something to do with those characters.
He tried to kill Tariq with GTG at the school.
That's what I thought it was too. It was something to that effect. Either way, she put his ass the fuck up out of her.
Yeah, and I mean, just cleaned her feet on him. He kept begging her back, and she really is. She actually made him who he is today, man.
Yeah, she's responsible for it. Pinky got them racks on racks on racks from Tariq. She don't make her mortgage payment in one day.
Yeah, she owns She owns several condos, baby. She wasn't fit to get caught up in that Western scheme, baby. She got her money diversified.
She got her money and got her out the way. I listen, when he started talking greasy to Brayden about, oh yeah, dad's a cornball, and I'm gonna set him up, and you and Tariq are gonna go down for the drugs. I'm like, yeah, he's getting ready to go.
When he went out on the lanai, I was like, oh Lord, if this ain't Empire all over again.
Right, he's getting ready to go parasailing without a parachute. Right.
When he pushed that door up and went out on that, I was like, dude, you're going over the side.
Yep. And Brayden was trying to get him to sign them papers.
Yep.
Brayden was trying to get him to sign those papers for that false confession. And the fact that they showed Brayden put the paper down, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's getting his hands free so he can push him over the ledge. And that's exactly what happened. The minute I was watching that's exactly when Brayden threw his ass over that damn ledge.
It's such privilege, though. He really thought, like, come on, be reasonable. Just sign this paper clearing everyone, and you go hide in Paraguay. Yeah. It was so weird. It was clumsy to go over, but man, him hitting several things on the way down, I just thought it was gorgeous.
And the little tussle. I wish they would have gave Brayden a little bit more. I wish they would have made this for Brayden's first kill. It kind of almost happened on accident. Like,
yeah,
I really wish they would have gave Brayden. I wish they would have gave Brayden a better scene at taking his uncle out. Like, we all knew that it was going to happen. We all knew that it needed to happen. I wish they would have did it just a little bit more justice, rather than him just having a little tussle and he just pushing his uncle off the ledge. Like,
it was kind of easy too. I wanted Saxe to go off the edge. I think they could have switched the deaths. I would have loved to see Saxe hit everything on the way down. But, I think they gave Brayden the easy ride out.
Yeah, they gave him an easy ride. But I really wanted it to be a little bit more, in your face type deal.
My question to y'all is that now that he is splat,
what?
Do y'all think when what y'all call them, the Rico sisters, y'all think they're gonna go investigate that now?
Oh yeah, the Rico sisters will have questions
on camera. Probably even catch the Rico on camera.
These idiots, how going back to, we really do need to do this show. Going back to Ghost and Tommy, when they got ready to go commit crimes like this, what did they do? They left their cell phones at home with Tasha. Tasha was an alibi. Remember when Ghost would have a drawer full of SIM cards? He would change his phones out. Remember when he went to go take out Raina and Tasha started calling Ghost?
I mean, this thing you got pulled up here. Ghost would have had that hood on. When that dude hit that car, Tariq looked at he showed his face to all the cameras. He was like,
Ghost would have been across the street in another building looking at.
Oh yeah, he would have been in the shadows, dude. There's no way he would have been out where you could take his photo from all the camera angles.
Yeah,
they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna do it in 10 or they're gonna do it in 12. Season 4, but it's gonna come up that he was there. Or maybe this might be one of those deaths that nobody ever mentions, right? Like Stern's old dude.
I think I'm kind of going back to what Fresh. I think the Rico sisters going to have questions about this because he just got finished calling them and tipping them off. So it's going to kind of almost give credence to what he was saying, because remember he said that he was on the run because he felt like, that the person who's responsible for the Ponzi, he was hiding from them for protection, and then he dropped the dime on Brayden and Tariq. So it's going to kind of make the Rico sisters look at Tariq a little differently because he ends up splat the same day he called in a tip. So I feel like the Rico sisters are going to have questions about this, but like we were saying, they're probably going to ping cell phones, and both of their dummies got their cell phones in their pocket. It would have been Ghost and Tommy. They didn't carry no phones with them. They left them with Tasha.
Brayden held onto the rail and looked over, right? Like from all my episodes of Criminal Intent, they dust the rails to see which side the person fell from, right? That's how you know if he was pushed to jump, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But the question is Brayden fingerprints on file though? Because remember, he never got arrested.
That's true.
So his fingerprints might not even be on file. But I still think somewhere in that high rise, you're not gonna make me believe, as expensive as that thing is, it's no camera around
In
there. That would
Tribeca, right?
either
And
one of their
then,
faces.
The guy in a wheelchair across the way that saw it all through it.
that's the. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he
the
was telling us-
writing. It's the writing. It's fine. It's the writing because buildings like this, they have a doorman. You can't even get into the building. You can't even get on the elevator to go up without the doorman, sending you up. But it's okay. We know.
Also, the question is, how did Brayden even know he was there?
Kiki told him.
Yeah.
But when
Remember
did she
when he
find out
went?
though?
No, but remember when he went over there to talk to her,
And she
and
was packing to go.
she was packing to go. Yeah, she was curbside to go. He said something to her, something to the effect of, your way of helping me or paying back your debt for me not, dropping a dime on you. Just tell me what Lucas is, or whatever the case may be. So Kiki told him. Because Brayden's uncle even said somebody, he's like, I got to give it to you. You got more charm than I expected you to have, or something like that, because you was able to get Kiki to drop a dime on me. So he knew that Kiki knew where he was, but I guess he thought that that Kiki was going to continue to be loyal to him and not drop a dime on him, but she did.
Right. That's right. He definitely said that. I forgot.
Ghost Club did have cameras. They turned the cameras off. That's why they didn't. Remember, Mike Sandoval had went up to the office and turned the cameras off when he was hiding the gun in the bar at Truth. He had cameras.
He had cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And this boy right here knows so wide open.
Oh my God. But again, going back to what Miss Honey said earlier, all of y'all are on a RICO. Like the fact that you was able to walk into a police precinct and the RICO sisters not immediately be notified that you're there.
I mean, they loitered around the rooms. They literally walked the halls.
They walked the hall, right? And nobody recognized Kane Tejeda is in here posing as an attorney. Okay, all right.
Not even that. I would have thought he would have had facial recognition or something.
It's
up
fine.
in there.
Yeah.
They don't have
License
facial
ain't
recognition until we need it, though. You see what I'm saying? We don't need it to move the storyline right now, so it don't exist.
It don't exist until we write it. Yeah, right. Mecca's Penthouse did have cameras, Dizzyville, because they got Tariq on camera at Mecca's place. Which, again, I said that last week. Why hasn't Blanca played that card yet? Because remember, that's how we got introduced to Blanca being back into the story. When she showed up at Mecca's crime scene, they mentioned that the cameras had been wiped, but they was able to recover a steal from one of the cameras, and it showed Tariq in the lobby. And remember,
That's what I'm saying. She's been on the outskirts of this RICO thing. This is really Jenny's show. And they wouldn't have even gotten the RICO if Blanca hadn't gone in. How they ended the last season was with Blanca saying Tariq St. Patrick.
Yep, that's how they ended it. Yep. But I don't know why I feel like that's going to show up in Force. Just call me crazy, but I don't know why I feel like that is going to be revisited again in Force. If it does get revisited again, it's going to get either revisited in Force or season 4. It's going to get revisited in season 4 because they have conveniently forgot that that's how Blanca put the connection together that Tariq was involved. Yep. She looked at that picture and saw that it was Tariq St. Patrick. She recognized it.
Like you said, the writing.
It's the writing. It's just the writers. So Kane does what we expected him to do. I mean, I don't think anyone didn't expect for him to say, drop a dime on Tariq. And if he was like, listen, I don't want no parts of this, leave me alone, go and get out of my face. Like, she kind of let him down hard, but at the same time, Kane didn't really react in an emotional way. Like, it kind of felt like he understood why she was kind of like, shutting him down.
I think his body language state it made it look like his feelings were hurt, and I think her body language kind of noted that she didn't want to do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think it was kind of like pushing him away because she got to be for self. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed that scene between the two of them because there were some unspoken things I thought we got to see as viewers.
Yeah, and also I understood why she didn't want it because you're telling him you're a street dude. Yep. You're telling her, somebody that's in the streets, you're telling her to drop a dime. So immediately she would be labeled as a rat.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you're telling somebody that you so-called cared about, yeah, drop it all on Tariq and it's all gonna go away. But in the end, you're making her a rat. Like she don't want that stench on her name. Like you making her a rat. You think like what you thought she just gonna drop that dime on Tariq and all of y'all was just gonna be in the clear. Nah. Like you gonna make her a rat, and at the end of the day, you probably wouldn't have saw her anyway because they probably would have tried to put her in witness protection.
That's facts.
So your whole
Wow.
theory, just because you hate Tariq, is stupid.
The fact that Saxe was able to even know that where 2-Bit was staying, I guess he's staying at his mama's house or something. I don't know. He received a mysterious letter from Saxe too that dropped Tasha's location. He goes and shakes Tariq down. I mean, literally shakes him down. He won 100 bands and the keys to his new ride. I'm like, damn,
It
Tariq.
happened so quick. It happened so quick. Like it wasn't even no conversation. It was the same thing at the pool too. It was like they dropped him in a scene. You got 4 lines. Go.
Go. Right. Make this your best 4 lines right here. Yep. Go.
Came out of nowhere. And
Came out of nowhere.
And this is why I said that had help, because he had help. Somebody was sending these.
This is why
letters.
I said it was originally written for Omari Hardaway's character.
Or it could have been
It's
real.
kind of proves that. I mean, we don't know what the note said, except it was about the location. But you have to think about it. Did he think that it was 2-Bit at the location?
At what location? Nah, he knew immediately. He knew immediately.
Because we don't really know what 2-Bit note said.
Exactly. We don't know what it said other than the fact that it had the address in it, obviously.
Nah, I'm almost sure that he said that it said that Tariq, you know what I'm saying? Like Tariq was because that's what I've been noticing in all the letters. It's all putting the blame on Tariq.
Tariq, yeah.
And it also gave the location of where Tasha and Yaz and all that was. So immediately
all the letters had that in it. The location
had that in it. And it said something. I forgot what 2-Bit said. He said something which automatically made Tariq know somebody was coming to take out his mom. I don't think he knew.
He said you want your mom to get shot. You want somebody to take a shot at your mom, you're gonna read this, you know, unless you want somebody. So I couldn't figure out if he made that call because he thought 2-Bit was gonna go. Like, did the note?
I think
what I had an issue with is how does Saxe even know that 2-Bit and Tariq or 2-Bit and the St. Patrick's even have beef? Like that wasn't clear to me how
I don't think
Saxe
street dudes have addresses either. Just saying.
Yeah. Especially one that are wanted and on crimes and whatever. I don't know.
I mean, he's very crackish too. You could just tell, like, he's always kind of begging. It's like he never got back in the drug game really, since the Tommy situation. Like he never got back. But I mean, he was part of Tommy's crew. That's what was throwing me off.
Yeah, that was just like Fresh said. That was just a cash grab. That was okay. We're gonna drop the character back in because everybody likes 2-Bit and everybody's been looking for him. So we're gonna use him as a transition. So we use him to transition the scene. That's all.
Yeah,
it's the writing. And the fact that Tamika, who's in private practice now, who hasn't had any dealings with the St. Patrick's since season 1, when she told Tariq that, listen, I can't help you no more. You out here in the streets. I ain't got nothing else to do with you. And they're using her as she is the keeper of Tasha and how she was able to get Big Mama into witness protection. Like, she shouldn't even know what these people are at. It's just whatever.
That wig is still beautiful, though. I mean,
if y'all gonna use the character, use her for something else.
Oh, that's right, Xavier. I remember. That's right.
What Xavier say? Remember when 2-Bit was pretending to be Tariq's cousin? Oh yeah. Good one.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, when it was at the little party, when it was at that frat party or something. Yep.
Because he was looking for him there.
Yep. Okay.
I forgot all about
Tariq calls and basically tells Tamika that, listen, I need you to send the marshals over to my mom's place. Her location has been compromised. Tamika said, I'll make the call in the morning. Tariq said, no, you got to do it right now. And she did. Because Tariq is a savant. And when Tariq calls, everyone listens.
I didn't think she did because I felt like she ain't make the call in time.
Yo, things got really silly from this point on. I'm just gonna
Miss Honey, get out of my head, Miss Honey. Get out of my head because this.
I'm gonna go mute.
Listen, this is where I started to have issues too. Like, okay, y'all playing with us for real now. Y'all rushed this whole scene. Y'all did not take time with the writing. Y'all did not take time writing this out. Y'all gave us something real quick to get to the action because you got the U.S. Marshals outside. It's the middle of the night. Tasha's coming back from going grocery shopping. Like, she's in witness protection. She shouldn't even be allowed to leave this house, let alone go out grocery shopping. And her mama and her are arguing back and forth because Yaz is out in the middle of the night by herself. Is she at a friend's house? Is she at a sleepover? Is she coming home from school? Like,
she was just skipping down the boulevard in pitch black night.
Right.
She's just skipping down the boulevard. And then Big Mama's on the porch talking all loud about you supposed to be in the house and be safe. You also supposed to be whispering, ma'am.
Exactly.
Also, I'm sure the neighbors note that you guys have guards outside the front door. Is that Saxe? I thought they just hide you in the middle of Wisconsin or Idaho somewhere.
I was literally thinking that. I'm like, y'all in witness protection. Why the hell are y'all back in New York? Like, y'all supposed to be somewhere out west, wherever, somewhere where don't nobody
literally know. Up the street. Literally up the street.
And around the corner.
I didn't even understand that.
I did not understand that.
I mean, in theory, New York is a good place to hide someone technically because it's so many people and it's so diverse, but it's just silly. I mean, 2 episodes ago, he was frantic because Saxe was the only one that knew where his mom is. Turns out everybody knows where his mom is.
Tamika would have been good for influence, but here they also didn't make it clear how Yaz spotted Tariq in this unrecognized vehicle that she'd never seen in her life before.
What was that car? Is it LTD? A Deuce and Quarter?
What's the Monte Carlo?
I thought it was Cutlass Spring.
It's one of retro. I gotta look at it again, but I think she spotted him because he had the door open already.
And it was sitting on the passenger side.
Yeah, it was sitting on the passenger side. She was walking past this hall.
And then this is the part where you're right, Miss Honey. This just gets real comedic at this point. Tommy rolls up in his signature Mustang, literally pulls up right in front of the safe house where Tasha is in witness protection because of him, and the guards didn't even recognize who he was.
I mean, the thing about that car is you can hear it coming from 2 blocks away.
That Tariq heard it coming up the road.
I thought he saw a shadowy figure, like, because
he saw the car.
I wasn't really. I thought it was 2-bit at first. I thought that the Tommy drop was supposed to be the surprise for us all.
It wasn't, because we seen Tommy get out the car, and he even said something to the guards as he was approaching them. He was like, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And he shot both of them there. Like, he should not have been able to open that car door, and they not sprayed him up. Like, Tommy should have been able to get the drop on them another way. That they just made that too. It's just like when Saxe pulled up to Jenny's safe house and got out. They parked right in front of the house. They parked right in front of the house.
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that. He sure did.
That was lazy, right?
Maybe they don't know who Tommy is. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they knew. But
at least in the scene where they went to go take out Dre, at least they infiltrated the house. At least they infiltrated the house. And, you know, we saw them coming in from other entrances of the house. They didn't come in through the front door. Like Tommy.
I mean, Tamika not knowing that it's just, like I said, from this point on, it gets really, really silly. Like, they're asking us to believe a lot. We definitely have one eye open and the other one has a bad contact. Like, you cannot look at these last couple of scenes in this episode with a straight face.
Okay, so Xavier, the best way to answer that question is the only reason why Tommy is in New York is because Dirty Diana went over there and gave that note to Kate, and Kate called Tommy and told.
Oh
Tommy.
wait, what?
Yeah.
So Diana know that Tommy's alive?
It's unrealistic how Diana even knows who Tommy is, let alone who Tommy Mama was. That's where I had an issue with all this. I had an issue with all because the last thing that we saw in Force, we saw that Tommy and his mom still had made amends with each other. Like he had put her out. Didn't he put her out of the hospital in Force? Remember when the nephew got shot and Kate showed up there, and then did he put Kate out then?
I felt like he did.
I felt like I feel like there shouldn't even be contact between Kate and Tommy's character.
I mean, in Force, he wouldn't. He was so upset with his brother, though, wasn't he, about contacting Kate?
I thought 2-Bit told him because 2-Bit said clear as day, unless you want to know, unless you want your mama to get shot. So
you're right.
That was like a little whatchamacallit to me, like, oh, okay. 2-Bit might have hit him up. Hey, yo.
That's what made me think, like, what's up with the editing? Like, it was weird. Like, they wrote it one way, or they shot several different perspectives or something, man. I don't know.
And that might be what they did. They might have shot different perspectives, but they just haven't showed it. Or they may have been, like, in other scenes that got cut.
I don't remember Diana being there, Xavier. I remember Monet. I definitely don't remember Diana being at that grave site.
Monet was there, yeah. Because remember, Tommy told Monet, you better be careful with this one. Because he no good. You better be careful with this one.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I wish we could just get a look.
She met Tommy at Raina Grave when... I don't remember Diana being there, but then
Diana
hasn't really said anything though, right? Like we haven't really. Most of her conversations with Tariq have been kind of one-sided, like all about her agenda.
Okay,
we have more conversation about Tariq's past and his people from RSJ than we have from Monet.
I just realized that, Xavier. I had to go skim through the episode real quick. I had to remember that. So the question gets answered in episode 10. So that's all I'm going to say with that.
Diana and Drew were in the car with Monet.
No. That scene where Tommy pulls up on them at the grave, nobody was there that night, but they were in the car. They were in the car because remember, they were driving the car. They were driving the car when Monet.
Yeah, but Monet was the only one that got out though.
But still, they flashed back to the car where Diana and Drew was in there driving the car. They flashed back to it was a comment or something made about Tariq's new family or something like that, and a scene flashed to Monet and Tariq walking towards the car, and they showed they showed Drew and Diana in the car waiting for Monet and Tariq to come back from the grave. So yeah, you're right. Diana was there.
I need an episode. I need an episode, and I need a.
It's the last episode of season 1.
Okay, right. I'm gonna go back because I think she could have been there, but I don't think she ever met Tommy, like spoke to him. She probably ain't just thought, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, this white dude trying to kill. Like she ain't know who he was, his name, nothing.
I mean, it feels a little MacGyver-ish, in my opinion.
It's the writing. Because we're left to.
Why is that? I feel like that's gonna be your tagline going forward.
It's the tagline.
We've been saying it all season. It's the writing.
But it's one of those situations where you're supposed to figure out
that
they obviously had a conversation after the fact. They just didn't show it. But yeah, it's the last episode of season 1. It's the last episode of season 1. Yep.
I'm definitely watching that because
definitely.
And the windows may have been even rolled down in the car. I believe
you guys remember to remind us next season. Not next season. We don't know when that's gonna be, but when we do episode 10, you guys in the chat remember to remind us to go and check these facts, man. Y'all hold us accountable. You guys are record.
I'll share the screenshots. But this was a really good conversation between Tasha and Tommy, and I felt like it should have happened way before now.
Yeah.
Way before now, because there has been plenty of opportunity for Tasha to explain the whole situation with Lakeisha. Like, this is like the fourth time that Tommy's tried to unalive her, and now this is the final time she decides to reveal to Tommy why she ended up having to unalive her best friend. So this was a conversation that needed to have happened, but it should have happened way before now.
Because I forgot until she said that. I was trying to figure out, I was like, yo, why is Tommy trying to kill Tasha? I was like, and all I kept thinking about was he thought she put Tariq up into unaliving ghosts is what I thought.
That's what they should have been. That's what it should have been. But it was about Lakeisha.
Yeah, and then that's when I remember, like, oh yeah, I forgot she unalived Lakeisha.
But really, it should have been Tommy trying to get vengeance for ghosts. It would have been more. It would have been more meaningful for us because, like, we don't care that she unalived Lakeisha. Like, we don't care. We actually glad she did.
it was so reminiscent of Tasha click-clacking around that kitchen in 5-inch heels, and she's made, sweet potato pie and mac and cheese, and Tommy comes in to pick Ghost up, and he just has time to eat a small plate of her Southern home cooking. I was there. I was back in the penthouse again. And it was just all those feels, us all being together. I love seeing Tommy back with these guys, man.
And that's true too, Drew, because she did snitch on him in open court. She snitched on him in open court, saying that he unalived ghosts.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
You sure did.
So actually, it's a combination of a bunch of things because 1, Tariq took out ghosts. 2, she unalived Lakeisha. 3, she pinned the murder on him.
And she really didn't have a chance to talk to him. Like, they always talk things through. They used to have a doobie. Do they call them doobies anymore? They have a doobie and chit chat and talk about it and kind of lament over what a jerk Ghost was. And because they had locked her up, remember when they had her cornrows out in jail? She never had a chance to talk to him again. Like, this is their first time really talking.
That's true. But what I don't want with this, I don't want a Tasha and Tommy reunion. I don't.
I would like to see her in force.
I would like to see her in force, but I kind of like things being contentious between the two characters. I don't want them to go back to, business as usual where they want big happy.
I like them as buddies, Retro.
I do too, but with Ghost not being there, it don't feel right. It don't feel the same.
Yeah.
It feels
that much more special to me because Ghost isn't there.
But he's not there. Now, if Ghost would have died any other way, I would be okay with a Tasha and Tommy reunion. But the fact that Tommy knows that Tariq is the one that took out
Xavier is stupid.
I can't see Tommy ever being comfortable with that. I can't see Tommy ever forgiving them for that. I can't see Tommy, getting back into business with them again, knowing that, Tariq is shady, Tasha shady, like, we cool. I ain't gonna try to kill you no more. But at the same time, we can't be family anymore. Like that's over. Like y'all.
I mean, they've done too much together. Like they practically grew up together, really. Like they've done so much together. If you don't forgive nobody, you forget them. Y'all forgive each other. Like this is a relationship worth saving, in my opinion. She's the reason they were able to funnel that money, all of the stuff that she did, all the things that he did to protect her and the kids, like how he rallied up against Kane. Like if anybody's going to be forgiven, it's them. They should be forgiving each other. This is a bridge. It's not a bridge he can really afford to burn.
Okay, the only way I can be satisfied with that is if they make Tariq and Tasha remorseful to Tommy about getting rid of Ghost. If they give us that, then I can see them all working together again. But until
technically he got rid of Angela too
for what they done, I can't see Tommy being cool with wanting to work with them like that again.
I think he'll be with Tasha, but not with Tariq. He was dead.
Well, I mean, he can afford. He could forgive. What's old girl that got with the scar on the face?
Liliana.
Yeah. R.I.P. Liliana.
Yeah, they took her character too quick. But
yeah, they took her character way too quick. But that's a whole different situation right there, though. So Liliana was a worker. She was a worker.
Yeah, but Liliana wasn't family. Like I said, if anybody you forgive family.
Yeah, you forgive family. You forgive family. I mean, you're right about that. You're supposed to forgive family, but I get that part. But it just don't feel like Tommy would be cool with this, knowing that, you know, Tariq is a little hellion, and Tariq end up. It's just like he said. He was like, you put a trigger on your own father, so you know you pulling the trigger on me. Like I can't see Tommy ever being able to turn his back on neither one of them and think that, you know, he can trust them.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, shout out to the 2 season actors though. Like this, they went right into their dialogue. It was heartfelt.
Like all the time. Yep.
Yeah. Even Tariq is seeing that character seem like he got a little better in that moment. Like, I love you, Uncle Tommy, but I'll shoot you dead before I let you hurt my mama. Like, it was good. It was a good moment. It was corny. It was weird. We don't know how Tommy got there. Woo. But in the moment, the scene was good.
So, do y'all think they're setting this up for Tasha to be enforced?
Yep.
No. I think they're setting it up with now. Tasha, I think now they're setting it up with Tasha's about to be a character back on
season 4.
On season 4.
Okay.
Like, although she's still in quote unquote witness protection, I feel like remember how she was schooling Tariq before? I think that's what's about to happen again. He's about to be like Ghost because she's supposed to be in witness protection. So he about to start like, hey,
he about to start working back with Tasha again.
Yeah, like she gonna be the one that's gonna be in the shadows now. That's how I see it.
I can see that.
So she's gonna be Ghost now. She's gonna be in the shadows now.
Because is Notori Notary on anything right now? Is she on any other show right now?
Oh, she just had a baby though.
So maybe they are setting her up where she's back on as a full time on.
I don't like the way they making her look though. I want her to go back to being
season 1 Tasha.
Manhattan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tasha.
I want her to be Tribeca Tasha too because they got her. Yeah.
This PTA mom Tasha they giving us now, mom.
You know what? That's one of the issues that I've always had with the character. I would say maybe after season 2, they started dressing her and showcasing her totally different than how they show the other women. Like they show Rock dressed to the nines. They show Rock, you know, as this bad bee. They show Monet dressed to the nines, this bad bee. But here they have Tasha looking like, you know, she's a soccer mom. You know, they have her in the worst wigs ever. Like I wish
she's a scared cat. That's the thing that bothers
me.
Scared
cat, yes. They have her like a
scared eye.
Yep.
Hey yo, y'all ain't right.
Yep. I want them to give her a better wig. I want them to give her better costumes. Like I really want them to make her like on Monet Rock level. I want if they're gonna bring
she was in the first couple of seasons.
If they're gonna bring Tasha back full time, make her a boss. Please make her a boss.
Yeah.
You know, like this scared cat. Yeah, I don't want to see.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the old Tasha would have finagled her way out of this situation. Like she would have been running to the store, you know what I'm saying? Nobody even knew she was gone, right? Now you go from that to having your mama on the front porch, you know, fussing you out. It's just Tasha just moved how she was originally written. She moved a lot smarter than this. So I don't like this. I'm so scared, Tariq. You gotta let mama help you, Tariq. Mama knows what's best, Tariq.
Yeah, you know what? They should have been had where Tasha was like slipping out and meeting with Tariq on the low, or at the very least calling him or texting him.
She handled things. She finessed people. She's the one that went in and got Tariq in the schools that he was in.
Yeah. Remember how she used to go down there to the school when Raina and Tariq had problems at their school? She would go down there and son that principal. Yeah, I want them
she got Tate to get her a whole daycare, man.
Yep. But you know, they've been doing her dirty like that ever since. You remember when the dude was threatening her at the daycare and she had to run to what's the name for help? Like, I really want them to make Tasha like if
It's a
Tasha
missed
was,
opportunity, Retro. It's a
yeah,
missed opportunity. As passionate as I feel about the black-white juxtaposition, the juxtaposition and how they write the women. I mean, the Rock character is really the one that put the fire in with me about it. I'm like, dude, I want to see a band of women dealers, you know what I'm saying? Criminals, like on some Ocean's 15 type situation. I don't remember what number that was where all the women ran the show. But I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think it would be hot.
or at least make her like Cleo from Set It Off. I mean, make her something other than this scaredy cat all the time, and you know, she fussing with her mama. Like, give us more.
But she don't have to be muscle. She's brains, right? Yeah. Same thing with Effie. Effie's muscle and brains. Okay, well, whereas we got Kiki being brains, like it is a missed opportunity for them not to write at least one season where the women running the show, right?
I don't think
you know what? That would be a great segue into season 4 because you got Norma's character, so you know you got Monet, you got like you said, it could be Kiki and Tasha, like Kiki
Diana.
And
Diana could be a part of it.
Diana, all of them could all kind of be working together, so to speak, you know, and doing their own thing.
And Pinky, I mean, it could really be good, dude. It could really be good.
Yeah. So the scene pretty much ends off with Tommy and Tasha having their conversation about, you know, the whole ghost, the whole Lakeisha thing, or whatever the case may be. One of the marshals that Tommy had tried to unalive but was still alive came back in and missed his shot at Tommy. Tommy turned around and dispatched of him quickly, and then we see the scene kind of go to black, like it looks like Tariq got hit in the head or something, and then Tariq wakes up in the hospital, and Tamika is there. And I felt like Tamika was there as a guardian or something. Oh, Tariq, it's going to be okay. Your mom's missing right now. However, like I felt like Tamika should have had questions. Like, Tariq, how did you know where your mom was? What were you doing there? What happened? You know, I felt like questions should have been asked. You know,
I thought she was going to ask him after, you know, he was more. Matter of fact, didn't she ask him a question? I could have swore.
No, she didn't ask him nothing. She told him that Tasha was MIA. Yeah. That the marshals, the Estelle had called the marshals.
Yeah.
And that
she asked him, did he see who did it?
Oh, that's right. She did. That's right.
She asked him, did he see who did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I missed that part.
Since you don't know who the assailant was or something, I was like, how do you not know anything, dude? You should have had cameras.
Yeah, she asked
him. I don't want them protecting me, dude. I just don't. It was so good to see Benson and Hedges again, though.
Right. And I feel like Tariq is in the same hospital bed that Brayden was in earlier.
I'm telling you, this is just the scenes. It's just scenes. They have rooms where they shoot the scenes.
Overall, this was a really good episode. Did y'all think this was a season 9? I mean, episode 9 episode, or this was a season finale episode for y'all? What y'all think about it?
It was a great episode. I don't think it was a season finale episode.
No, it ended weird.
It did end a little weird, but I guess that comes from, like we said, ever since that scene where Tariq pulled up to the house, we knew that things got a little quirky from that point on. From that point on, things got a little quirky. Like, I feel like there should have been other transitional scenes that were edited out that we needed to see happen prior to that.
It probably was. I think, matter of fact, I don't mean to cut you off, Miss Honey. Since we've been saying it's the writing, I'm starting to wonder now if it was scenes there and they chopped them out. So that's what's throwing everything off now.
You know what? I feel like they could do a whole season almost. And you know, that would be great. Stars, I'm giving y'all a free idea. Well, not free because our team here is going to want us to collect our royalties for this. But Stars, let me go ahead and put this little bug in your ear. take all these missed clips, all these unreleased scenes, all these unreleased episodes, and give us a whole season of that. Give us a whole backstory. Give us a whole backstory, a transitional season where all these questions that we have that y'all had answers prepared for while y'all on this writer's strike right now, go ahead and put us a whole season together. Go ahead and put us a whole season together of all these things that didn't make the edit.
They need to bring back the power.
Man, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. Like a outtake type thing.
A whole outtake season. Give us a whole outtake season. Because at this point, this show is on season 3. So you got to think about it. They got a lot of content that they could use to give us 10 episodes.
I mean, I'm worried about it though.
Even if they don't even give us a full 10 episodes, give us 1 or 2 episodes, like a special. Give us something that could prepare us for where the writing is going to go for season 4.
Yeah.
And kind of give us some of the stuff that didn't make the showroom floor. Give us some of those scenes. We would love to see that.
I mean, Xavier, I don't know if you're kidding or not, but it's still a good idea. I mean, obviously not the DVD part, but just similar to what Retro is saying. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it, you know, especially if they're not scenes you're going to use again. Unfortunately, I think they use a lot of the cutting room scenes as fillers. I think that's why a lot of times some things doesn't make sense to us. Like what? Like even the day to night, like Saxe actually parked down the street and got out when he went to Jenny's safe house. When they escorted him off the property, the car was back in front of the house, right? So we know that the two scenes were kind of spliced together. It's those little things that we notice, but I would love to see just outtakes with that. Man, that would tell us so much, man, going into season 4. It would be a great season 4 opener, right?
It would be a great opening for season 4.
Opening season 4, do the week before, do that.
Yeah, because remember when Courtney Kemp used to do, so Courtney Kemp used to do several different things. You know, back in her OG Power, at the end of each episode, you know, she would give us a breakdown of the episode, basically, and give us the interpretation on some of the scenes that we probably had questions about. And a lot of times she would say in those recaps that, you know, there were scenes prepared for that, but unfortunately the network would cut them. Then she used to do like the Power Confidential. Remember, they used to do the Power Confidential, and they used to have a different actor from the episode come on.
Yeah.
Who
used to do that? Terrence J.
Yep. Then she used to do. They should do that again. They should do a version of Power Confidential, so to speak. But they should do it. They did an episode of Power Confidential where they did this, where they brought in a lot of YouTubers and they brought in a lot of fans, and they let the fans break down the episode. What they should do is kind of like what Tariq and Brayden are doing now with The Crew Has It, because The Crew Has It didn't start off with doing episode recaps. Now The Crew Has It does episode recaps where they're bringing someone on from the episode to talk about it. I've caught them casually. Oddly enough, Miss Honey, the first one I caught was after watching your review. It came up next after I watched your review.
Oh, really?
It was the episode. It was actually the episode where it was Jenny. Jenny was on it, and it was one of the stunt doubles was on it, and they were talking about the fight scene between Brayden and Tariq. But they should really do that. A fan after show where the fans get together and we interview either the writer for the show or the producer of the show or the director of the show and ask these questions. And that would be a perfect opportunity for them to show the unreleased scene. Like, okay, the fan may ask them a question and be like, well, why didn't y'all have something prepared for this scene? They're like, oh, yeah, it didn't make the cutting room floor, but here's the scene that we had prepared for that. And they could give us a good clip. Or, like I said, they could actually take all those unreleased scenes and actually make a whole episode out of it. Or make it like an hour-long movie or something like that, or a special. You know, you think you're the ultimate Power fan where we have some unreleased scenes that didn't make the whatchamacallit, and, you know, see if you can figure out what season this is from. See if you can figure out what episode this is from. That would be dope. And it's a way for stars to keep people on, like they should release it on the app every week, like they do with the episode. And now, while we're waiting for Force to come out, while we're waiting for the next season of Raising Kanan, while we're waiting for the next season, now you have something to keep your fans tied to the subscription for Stars and keep them fresh on the show. Right now, we getting ready to go into limbo right now. We're getting ready to go into limbo. After we watch next week's episode, we in limbo. What we going to do? Because we don't even know when Force is coming out. We hadn't seen a trailer. We keep waiting for an announcement. That announcement isn't going to even be clear whether or not we're going to get Force in the next couple of weeks.
Maybe after 10, we'll get a trailer.
So if we don't get Force, when are y'all looking for Force to start? Maybe July? Or you think we're going to get it sooner than that?
What we in now? What we in May?
May.
About to be June. It probably... See, this is also how I know Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent not involved like that anymore. Because we would have been got a trailer, and 50, you know, he always rolls them back to back. So it would have rolled straight up into Force. The same way like how he did BMF, like how BMF ended, and then it rolled straight into season 3. He would have done the exact same thing for whether it was Force or Raising Kanan. So that's how I know neither one of them are involved in anymore.
That's what I was thinking too, Xavier. We're going to get Force either July or August. Is what I'm thinking. I don't think that will still finish out the year, but if it started in August, that'll be good. But going back to Xavier, yes, that episode of The Crew Has It, the stunt double, that stunt double that they had on there, he's been working on the entire show of Power, like from Power. He's done. The guy was actually in the scene with Liliana, the elevator scene where Pink Sneakers robbed them for their work. And the dude who got shot that was in the elevator with Pink Sneakers, he was a stunt double. And he was talking about how he had been working on the show since season 1 of Power. And his company is what does a lot of the fight scenes and the murder scenes and the stunt scenes. And he was talking about how they prepare each scene. So each scene, they give them 3 different scenarios on how to, like, they read the script. And in this script, it says this person is supposed to die. So they began working on a choreograph for that scene. And they go back to the network and they present 3 different options on how that scene can be shown to the viewers. And they kind of somewhat produce that particular scene to see which one that the network likes the best. So all that footage is there. You know, you have all that kind of stuff. But it's neat to see stuff like that that's happening that we don't think about. It happens on other shows. A lot of that comes out in this show right here. They were just talking about how, you know, a lot of the actors do their own stunts, and there's some of them that don't do the stunts. So actually, we learned a lot from that episode of The Crew Has. Like, I usually don't watch it, but I did watch that episode too, Xavier. And that stunt double was the dude from season 1 that was in the elevator with Liliana, because he even said it. Like, you know, it was dope that they brought her back for Force. So I was like, oh, it would be dope if they brought his character back, but I forgot he got killed in that episode. But yeah, we're gonna have to do something, or either that we're going back to OG Power. We're gonna go back to OG Power and start doing our retro reviews on it.
I mean, I shout out to the chat. You guys are like super hardcore. You're smart. Like, not only that, like you know this franchise, right? So that's why I think us to do like our most memorable kill scenes or all the different kill scenes. Like, if we could do something surrounding that, I think that would be a good interim panel for us to do because of the chat that we have, because they know this franchise, right? Like, it's stuff I've forgotten that they bring up in the chat, and I'm like, oh man, same thing with you guys. It's Fresh Your Highness. You guys have got really a mind for the past Power stuff I forgot about. Like, what's the episode with Kanan? And oh boy, that's one of my highest viewed reviews. The rapper, what's the rapper's name?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh man, that was a dope episode. That was my favorite episode, man. That was my favorite episode. I think I got like 12,000 views on that. review. That was a lot. That's a lot for a little YouTuber like me, man. And it was because of the continuity of the show. Like I would love to have those retro, pardon the pun, conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's do that. We need to do that. We need to go ahead and set that up and do the framework for that. I will also be interested in doing a power related show based off of suggestions from the chat. So, like, what type of show y'all would like for us to do? What type of character? What do y'all want us to do centered around the Power universe? Xavier, we've got so many requests for Snowfall. CJ, we're gonna have to do Snowfall because it seems like every review we do now, somebody's asking about Snowfall. So we're gonna have to add that to the retro review list.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Snowfall.
Okay, Lady B says I'm all for retro reviews on OG Power. I agree, Miss Honey. Okay, so we need to go ahead and set the framework up for that and figure out what we can do, because I definitely want to do, but I don't know how we could do that. I mean, we've got to
take it season by season.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do season by season, or
I think we probably would benefit from doing juxtapositions. And the only reason I say that is because a lot of people get frustrated that we constantly bring up James St. Patrick. But like, if you remember the original Power and just how they moved him, Tommy, Kanan, just how the scenes were set up, you'll see why we're kind of frustrated at times with the new Power, the Ghost 2 series, because
it ain't nothing like that. Yeah. But you know what we could do, Miss Honey? What we could do is we can sit down and discuss the major kills from each season and compile that into one episode. Like, every season we get a major kill in that season. So we could do that. Or we could really dig through
law enforcement.
We could really dig through the minutia and find our most favorite kill scenes or our favorite death scenes and really talk about, how that was pulled off. Like for me, mine was going to probably be the Kanan one. The Kanan one was one that stands out. That was well orchestrated between Tasha and Tariq. It was kind of unexpected.
What'd you say, Miss Honey?
Which one?
Where they take out Kanan.
Oh, what about yours, Fresh?
I would have to go back because there's so many that I don't know. Maybe even might be Lobos or.
Lobos was a good one too.
I have to go back in.
What? My second favorite one is when they took out Alicia Jimenez. Remember when they did the courthouse caper, and Tommy was trying to get her, and Ghost was both trying to get her at the same time, and Tommy beat Ghost, and Tommy was like, ha ha ha, I beat you type deal. And remember when they were when Ghost kind of rammed him with the truck, and he was in the ambulance and he started busting at him? Like that scene right there, how they were able to kidnap Alicia Jimenez from police protection.
They used the ambulance for a couple of seasons, didn't they?
Yeah, that was major. That was like a major coup right there. I love how they did that story.
So I think we're kind of building it out a little bit. Fresh, Your Highness, of course, jump in. But I think we've kind of built it out. Instead of maybe every episode in the original Power, maybe we just take different scenarios, like from law enforcement standpoint, how our characters manage law enforcement, how they manage like being caught dead to rights. You know what I'm saying? Some of those scenes were really, really good. I would love to see us go back and do some juxtaposition between the lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially with Angela, because Angela was a very formidable opponent. She was a very formidable opponent. Like when she got them. But when they got her, they got her. Like, you remember how Ghost orchestrated that whole takedown with Lobos and Tommy in the hotel room, and he was at the hotel room looking down on them. And Angela called his phone, and she got the number you have reached.
I forgot Angela had a boyfriend. So yeah.
Lady Virtue is hollering about Snowfall too. Oh my God. Oh, Proctor's death. That was a good one too, man. There's so many. Dre's death. Oh man, there's so many good points.
Proctor doing away with his wife.
Proctor doing away with his wife. Yeah.
Oh, the necklace he gave his daughter. Like, it was so many nuances to that leg of the franchise, man. It was
And
just
we need people like Xavier and DeMarcus who they really, really remember a lot of this stuff too, to help us remember some of these things, because I feel like there's a lot of nuances that kind of were left unexplained in Power. And some of it is flushing out, just like with this whole Junior character that's coming back. That's a nuance that kind of was left unflushed. The whole laptop hard drive thing, they kind of addressed it a little bit in Power, but at the same time, they didn't really. They left the door open where Lisa Marie could still have a copy of that information. So there's a lot of nuances that are left out there that we would love to see come back again. So maybe we should do a show around that too. Things that we would like to see in future seasons that happen in older seasons that will come out. Like, I really want them to, and I'm hoping that we get this in Raising Kanan. I really want them to show us how Tommy, Ghost, Kanan, and all of them end up working together. So I'm hoping that we'll get that.
They more than likely won't show that in Raising Kanan.
I hope so.
I can't see them doing that.
All right, guys. Well, I know this was a long episode, y'all, and I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. I knew that this was going to be a long episode for us because it's 2 weeks and we've had so much
to talk about it.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start working on that framework, and hopefully we'll get some announcements about Force, and we'll be back to talk about episode 10, and we'll go ahead and go from there. Any final thoughts, guys?
Yeah, it's good to be back. I don't know what we're gonna do because we need a show. We need a show. I mean, a lot of our ish surrounds stars.
I'll tell y'all a show behind it backstage.
We need a good quality show, man. Like, we need something, and we need to get all of our eggs out of the stars basket because I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, you're right about that, Miss Hunter. We might need to go ahead and start shopping around for some other stuff because our future's not so bright over at Stars.
Yeah, I got a show that y'all might find. I'll tell y'all backstage, though. I ain't gonna put it out here because we want to keep the people on their toes. So I'll tell y'all backstage about that one.
But yeah, we're gonna definitely work on the retro reviews. We're gonna have to try to go ahead and get something going on with Snowfall because a lot of people have been asking for it. So we need to go ahead and do that. We need to give our peeps what they asked for. So, all right, guys. Miss Honey, your review up yet?
Oh yeah, it's been up. And, I try to do my review before you guys come on. That way, which I guess is a low point this week because kind of everybody's already seen the show. But I try to put it up before I get on here because I don't want my original thoughts to be tainted by you guys' genius. So yeah, my show is always up before we get on here.
All right, so y'all make sure y'all go out there and check out Miss Honey's review, and we'll talk about it in these comments, guys. We're gonna talk about it in these comments because there's still some more things that we need to talk about. But next week, hopefully we'll get some answers on some things that we have questions about in this episode. So hopefully we'll get some answers for that next week. All right, Fresh, you got anything, bro?
Nah, like I said, I'm just waiting for what's next after this. That's all I'm really waiting for. Like, what's next? That's pretty much where I'm at with it now.
All right, guys, y'all make sure y'all hit the like button on y'all way out. Drop y'all theories and comments in the comments section. We'd love to keep these conversations going with you guys. We appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with the TSF Entertainment Bam. We'll see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
See y'all next.